Welcome to Harley in Love. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, here on a Tuesday night.
Facts.
With my co-host, Ryan Ketchens. Yes, I don't know about y'all, but it's a snow day here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was literally, I almost crashed out on the way over here. It was crazy.
Y'all stay safe in these streets, all right? You're going to be snowed in with yours truly tonight. All right, we're going to have a good time tonight here, family.
You going to wear that jacket the whole show? You kind of bundled up over there.
Y'all see me looking nice. Me and Ryan look like he in damn Cancun over there. I ain't playing.
Listen, it's warm in the studio. I think Tyshawn just flexing that fur he got on.
I like being extra cozy right now. This that hot chocolate season. Y'all be careful, right? They call it cuffing season. Y'all can't be cuffing with the wrong ones, all right?
A lot of them doing
If you
that
want to
right
cuff with the right ones too, just know we got the dating segment. You guys go ahead and fill out the link below, because if you guys want to be a part of the dating show, okay, go ahead and fill out the description below. We're going to do something a little different this week. This week, guys, for all the lovers in the chat that want to know, we're going to do the single shout out all week. So we're going to really build and activate the community all week. So this Thursday, we won't do our formal dating show, but we will be activating our singles all week long. We doing IG reviews. We having a special surprise that we'll be bringing in on Thursday. So you guys stay tuned. Just make sure you're here with us every 8 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Big fact. Shout out to all the lovers in the chat. Guys, listen, I wanted to share this with y'all. We officially hit 3,300 subscribers. It's excellent.
Yes.
3,300 subscribers. This is officially our 6th episode. So, the lovers are doing really big things. So shout out to all the lovers in the chat. Guys, I want you to go ahead and drop a single if you're ready for tonight's show. Literally, S-I-N-G-L-E, single. And I want to give you the rules for the single shout out, because we want to get things structured and organized, and we want to make sure all the lovers in the chat have a really great time tonight.
Yeah.
And every other night, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. So, guys, single shout out is exclusively for our singles and lovers in the chat. Phone lines are literally open all night, so click the link in the description if you have something to say, if you want to shoot your shot, if you got an opinion about what's going on, or if you just want to have fun and join one of our segments for tonight and every other night. If you join, you'll get to share what you're looking for, of course, in a partner. And the best thing about it is that you get to receive some real-time feedback from us and the thousands of people that's going to be watching at home. Yeah. Every show features a mix of creative segments, all centered around dating and singles. We'll review social profiles, answer some questions, and really stir up some really dope conversations. So this is really big news, guys. And, of course, all Super Chats over $10 will be read live on air.
Now, before we get over into the singles shout out, okay, and go ahead and bring our singles up. By the way, we're going to drop the link for you guys to go backstage, for you guys to join the single shout out. What we'll do is we're going to actually catch you guys up. If you were in the chat or saw the replay for last Thursday's one man versus 6 ladies, okay, we had brother Terrell on here looking for his lady, or we could say his first lady, as Pastor Terrell was on here.
Right.
Dating 6 women. Put me in the chat. I just want to get a feel for it, because what we're going to do is we're going to catch y'all up on that match to see how it's doing. And honestly, just moving forward, we're going to catch y'all up on all the matches that are happening here on Hardly in Love. So we got a good surprise for you guys.
We want to bring up Terrell, but give a big shout out to the episode sponsor real quick.
Man, big shout out to yours truly, Hardly in Love. All right, Hardly in Love is your episode sponsor tonight. 100 open-ended questions. When you snowed in and it ain't nowhere to go, you whip this deck out. I don't care if you're with your friends, you're with your family, you're with that significant other. Let me tell you something. Conversation will pop off. A good time will happen on the spot.
Right.
Just spoke to a sister that actually filled out the casting form. She said, Ty, man, I bought those cards and it's crazy. The cards work so good. It actually been ending my dates way sooner. I've been dating guys for a way shorter time.
That's crazy.
Because our conversations, I'm realizing that we not on the same page with things, because it really pops off real conversation. So if you want to go ahead and get you a Hardly in Love deck, in the description, you can go ahead and put live in the discount code, and you actually go ahead and get 10% off. So shout out, we blessing all the lovers in the chat. All right.
Good job. So listen, man, I really want to go ahead and bring on Terrell, because, it was some controversy. The last episode,
a lot
when
of
we
controversy.
did the 1v6, yeah. So if you guys didn't know, Terrell initially made a decision to eliminate, one of the young ladies, Kellie, who he actually ended up changing his mind on, and choosing her to go into the next round. And subsequently, he ended up making a match with her at the end of the night.
Yeah, so it was the first time we've ever done this concept. We had one guy dating 6 ladies, and we had a match. Very excited. And again, to Ryan's point, it was controversial the whole way through. If you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it.
We made the decision tough for him. Beautiful ladies.
Oh, it was a tough
talented
decision.
ladies, intellectual ladies. So, yeah, it was tough. He made his decision, and now, we got to bring him up to follow up about how it went.
Let's see how it went down. So let's welcome Pastor Terrell. Terrell is here on the set. How you feeling, brother?
What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for having me. Listen, before we get started, I want to give y'all flowers. Y'all are doing an amazing job. This is an award-winning show, and y'all got plenty more to follow. You feel me?
Appreciate that confirmation,
man. Great intro. Great intro, Terrell.
Yeah,
great
exactly,
intro.
Exactly. But we got to talk, Terrell, because, we really want to, get into the weeds of things and find out, exactly what happened between you and Kellie, how it went, what your feedback is, and really, the tea, I guess, is we want to find out if you open to a second date. So let's kick things off from the very beginning, and let's start. The beginning would be after the show. So after the show ends, what happens next?
Okay, so after the show, I looked up her Instagram and I sent her a message. She didn't respond to the next day, which was fine, So after she responded, she followed me. I followed her back. I said, hey, listen, you want to exchange phone numbers? We exchanged phone numbers. We texted a little bit, and then she discussed. She was like, Terrell, I'm not really a texter, so let's talk. I'm like that. Let's go. I'm ready to talk anyway. I'm a talker. So we only had one conversation, and I would say it was about a 2-hour long conversation where we just pretty much just pour out, our testimonies, sharing our experiences. It was a 2-hour conversation. So I believe that it went very well based on, the feedback and, just the companionship I was feeling. I mean, it felt like we were getting closer and getting to know one another. But the next day, I had texted her. It was a Sunday, and I said, hey, Kellie, how you doing? How's your day going? And she responded and said, hey, I don't want to waste your time, but I'm actually looking for someone that's closer in age. She's actually looking for someone that's more relatable and someone that can share similar experiences with her. Honestly, I didn't understand the similar experiences part, but I can understand the age part. The relatable part, I didn't really understand as well. But again, I'm a whole man, so I know my worth. I just wished her well, and I prayed for her that God would send her the man of her dreams, because, I really wish that for her. But that's how, and then it just ended that way. We're friends, but we're not dating at this time.
Okay. So, we gotta ask some follow-up questions. We gotta do some due diligence to make sure we understand what's going on. But before we do, I do want to make sure I understand what happened. So the show ends, you send her a DM, I'm assuming expressing interest, asking for the phone number. The next day she replies and you start to text, correct?
Correct.
Now, that first few texts, what kind of conversation was happening before she actually came back and said, hey, you know what, I would prefer to actually speak on the phone?
It was just icebreaker things, how's your day going? Little conversation starters, nothing too deep. That's when we started to get deep. That's when she initiated, hey, let's lead more over the phone. So I understood that. I was just kind of feeling her out. In the beginning, you just want to feel a person out. That was actually going to be my next question to her. Like, how do you prefer to communicate? You want to do text or phone? But she initiated in the beginning. So I'm like, cool, that's what I wanted anyway. So that's when she told me she wanted to talk on the phone more than text. That's what led out. We actually set up a time, which was 6 p.m. She said, let's talk at 6 p.m. And we talked all the way past 8 p.m.
Okay. So you got the text going, she communicates, hey, let's get on the phone, and you jump on the call. This is a scheduled call, so I would consider this a first date.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And 2 hours. Listen.
2 hours.
2 hour conversation.
That's a deep combo.
That's a deep combo.
That's a deep combo.
I agree. So let me ask you, during that 2 hours, okay, matter of fact, how about this? How did the conversation kick off? Like, what was the first few things that were discussed?
Just really a little bit about the show. I told her that I had went back. One of the things I appreciated about her, I went back and watched the previous episode that she was on, and I told her that I loved her character. I think it was a question that was asked to her, would she be willing to put on more clothes with her social media because she kind of shows a lot because she's in fitness, and she agreed that she would be willing to. So I commended her for that. I was like, look, I commend you for that. Like, most women would be like, no, that's just how I am. But for her to be open to, changing how she looks on social media for the person that she was dating, that was amazing to me. So I started the conversation off like that, and it just, it flowed. It was like a snowball. We just continued to converse. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I'm talking to somebody, I can't do nothing but talk about Jesus because he's done so much in my life. And obviously, we start learning more about each other. And then when I told her more about my past and my testimony, honestly, I think that's kind of what started to lead it. Because remember, she said she wanted someone that was more relatable with similar experiences. And I come from the streets. I got all types of war stories about the hood. And I don't know if that scared her away, but hey, my past is my past. I can't change my past. You know what I mean?
You told her how that neck tattoo got on there, huh?
I told her about that gang activity and them guns and all of that. I don't know if she was like, I can't. This dude used to be a thug. I don't know if I can do this one.
now I want to get a general feel for here, because I think this is pretty important. In this conversation here, it's 2 hours. That's a lot of time spent. Would you say you were doing most of the talking, or was it Kelly?
I was doing most of the talking.
Now, do you feel like, because, initially, when you eliminated Kelly in the show, you felt like this level of Kelly being disengaged a bit. Did you feel that same way, that same thing kind of flowed over into conversation, like it was this level of her being a bit disengaged in conversation?
She was engaged, but when it came time to talk about her, because after I shared some of my life experiences, I said, hey, can I hear a little bit about your testimony? And then she said that's one of the ways that she's trying to grow in, being more vulnerable. So she didn't really tell me much about her past. So really, I was talking, because I had to stop myself sometimes. Like, listen, am I talking too much? I asked her that. Like, can we converse? I want to hear more about you. And my story was so long, it did take a long time. But as we start to discuss more about her, she wasn't really open to tell me much about her background and her testimony and everything. And she told me later on down the line, she would be more open, with that. So it was just the same thing.
Hold on.
That is very, very interesting.
This is interesting. So you pretty much on here spilling your guts out. You telling your probably some of the most vulnerable aspects of your story, of your life.
Also talking about faith,
God
intimacy.
And faith.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like that vulnerability wasn't necessarily reciprocated in that initial conversation.
It definitely wasn't.
Would you say that you moved too fast in being vulnerable, or she just was not the right woman in the fact that she didn't reciprocate that vulnerability?
I would say both, actually. I would say, because sometimes you can't pour out everything like that with people, but that's just who I am. Like, I have nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to speak all about me because, that's just how I am. I believe that's what intimacy is. Come inside of me and see. It's not a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a very intimate, passionate person. I'm ready to pour myself out. This is who I am. And I believe that's important when you're starting to date. So I can put it on the table. Look, this is who I am. And you decide if that's who you want to be with. I would have rather have found out now than wait 2 weeks down the line and then that happened. So I'm glad it happened that way. But I would say both. But at the same time, I will say leaning more towards, she admitted that she wasn't that vulnerable on the show. I mean, y'all remember when I asked her, I was like, hey, it seems like, you're a little nonchalant. And she said it. She agreed that she was. You know what I'm saying? She said it just took the right person to break down those barriers to where she can get vulnerable. So I figured if I can be vulnerable first, maybe that would open her up to being more vulnerable.
That makes sense. And I remember that. I remember you asking her about that. And I remember her response said, it just takes the right person to kind of, get her warmed up. And I'm very curious, so Terrell, because I think that is probably where people are really split or at odds, because you got people who are like, hey, listen, first date, I'm not saying too much. I'm not even trying to talk too much. I'm not trying to be vulnerable. I'm not trying to put it out on the table. And then you got other people who are like, listen, if this the person I'm trying to be with, then it's important for me to go ahead and let them know up front these different things, pretty much my testimony. So I'm going to actually drop a poll. Do you guys think, it's all for all the lovers in the chat, I'm dropping a poll right now. Do you think Terrell shared too much. Right now, that poll is 50-50, as I thought it would be. But I'm going to go ahead and stop it at 100. At 100 votes, I'm going to stop it. We got 260, 270 lovers in the chat. So I'll drop that poll. Hurry up and get to that poll, guys, before I close it.
Absolutely. And here's the fun thing, because I see the lovers in the chat, they saying we got to hear the other side of the story. And let me tell you, this is why I love Harley and Love, because the beauty of it is my sister Kellie just popped up backstage on us right now. So we actually going to go ahead and let's go ahead and bring Kellie to the stage, Lano. Let's bring Kellie to the stage here. Kellie, welcome back to Hardly.
Where you at, Kellie?
In Love. What's up with you, sister?
Hold on,
You got to unmute yourself real quick, Kellie, so we can hear your side of things here as Terrell.
Kellie love that Indian style.
She love that.
She's in.
She love that. Kellie, what's up with you, sister? How you feeling?
Hi, I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Good. Yeah, happy to have you back. Happy to have you back. And listen, we got to talk to you because the lovers in the chat, they saying, yo, we got to hear what Kellie is talking about this 2-hour conversation. What happened? Because you talking to somebody for 2 hours, I would think something, I
would hope it's a good conversation.
That's what I'm thinking.
Now,
right.
now let me just check here because I don't know how long you've been tuned in, Kellie. Were you tuned in from the top of the show?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, Kellie, I want to hear your perspective of how things went down a bit. Okay, because after the show, how do you feel things, when sounds like there were some DMs being sent before the text message had. How do you feel the communication was prior up until you guys getting on that phone call?
Well, he initially DM'd me at like midnight, so I responded the next day only because it was late. I don't really like to respond to late messages. But when we texted initially, it was just a matter of like he said, icebreaker questions. And it started getting like really deep, and I'm not much of like a long texter. Like when questions start getting deep, I don't like to type long messages. So I just told him whenever you get a chance, we should talk,
Okay, there you go. So then from there.
Well, let me ask this. So when that happened, did you have any feelings about this? Would you have liked Terrell to be more proactive and giving you a call, or was it, hey, you know what, we started texting, it's all good, let me just tell him what I like?
Yeah, honestly, I prefer phone calls. I like when men call me. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, we know how the story ends, but I want to figure out when there was a little shift in, the change in your change of heart, essentially. At that point in the DMs, did you start to feel a bit differently there, how the DMs went down, or were you still pretty much just as attracted and interested, even around through the DMs?
Oh yeah, I was still interested in the DMs. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. So then the phone call was the next day.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So we hop on the phone now. And obviously, we heard Terrell's side of how he would describe the call. Give me how you would describe how that 2-hour conversation went.
It was actually a really good conversation. I got to know a lot about him and his background and his testimony, which is very powerful. So it was a really good conversation. I opened up, about like some things in my past, but not everything, because I am like more reserved when it comes to like sharing just deep things on the first conversation. Like I kind of want to work up to it, but like I was open to sharing. I'm not like closed off or anything, but I was just so taken aback by how powerful his testimony is. It's amazing, honestly. So I just honestly just want to save something for later. Like, it was already a long conversation. So I just figured, next time we talk, like I'll probably open up more,
Now here's the thing. Did his testimony or any aspect of the conversation make you feel uncomfortable? That it was so vulnerable and that he was, giving these very deep, vulnerable parts of his life so early? Did a part of that make you uncomfortable?
I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but I would say he has a lot more life experience than I do. And that's what I meant by like similar, like similarities in regards to like lifestyle and like just relatability, you know?
Interesting. Now I'm gonna be honest because I know we can't go back and change things at all. But do you feel like if he would have maybe cut out the testimony and kept it a little light in conversation where it was just a little bit more, I hate to say surface level, but just starting at the top of really getting to know you, know who you were on a lighter level with it going without it going so deep so fast, do you think you probably would have hung in there a bit and probably stayed a bit more interested?
Probably, yes, probably.
Interesting. So is it the fact that he has more life experience, or do you think he just pretty much just gave a little bit too much, essentially talked too much on that first conversation?
No, I actually like when people are like open about their past and like who they are. I respect that 100%. I just think it really is just the age, you know, as far as like he has like, you know, a good bit of years on me. So he has a lot more life experience than I do. So I just feel like, you know, maybe dating someone within my age bracket is more relatable, you know?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to read between the lines on that
I'm trying to too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Because you know, I know the ladies usually like for a man to take, you know, the lead in a relationship, and experience is always good for that. You know, especially if you've been through some things, you've learned some things, you could teach a young woman some things. So,
And she seemed like she's asking for a man with less experience.
yeah,
Which means
explain that to us, Kellie. Like, what kind of experience are you looking for, and what would make the person you're looking for more relatable?
I'm saying as far as, I guess, like someone that's like more than a decade older than you, it's like they have lived life. They've lived a whole decade, you know, before you. So I just feel like for me personally, that's a lot of life ahead of mine that I have yet to experience. Like, you know, I've never been married before. I don't have any children. So there's a lot of things that I've never experienced before. And that to me, that's what I mean in relatability in regards to like life, you know?
So does that mean
That's
that you
interesting.
wait? Okay,
bring Terrell back on here.
Terrell
Bring
up.
Terrell back up on this joint here.
So Terrell, I mean, you got some really great feedback from Kellie, and I'm just curious. What do you think about what she's communicating right now?
I mean, I again, a person can have their what they want and what they're looking for. I mean, she's entitled to that. It's her life. But I'm just confused on the life experiences part. I would think that would be a good thing because somebody that has, and again, people, 10 years is not much of, you know what I'm saying? 10 years flies by like that. But I thought that would be a good thing because there would be a lot of things that I can teach you or you can learn from me about. I never heard that before to where that would be an area that you wouldn't want. Like, you know, basically saying if you would have lost 10 years, you'd have been a good fit. I just never heard that before. That's all.
Do you want me to respond?
I mean, Kellie, you know, I'm just
So it seems so look, so here's the thing, because it seems like so now, I mean, from this experience, do you now have a new, you know, age preference that you prefer to date now, Kellie?
good question.
Yeah, I mean, my last relationship, I didn't know he was actually 11 years older than me. It was something that
He was 44 as well?
about. Yeah, at the time, this was 4 years ago, but you know, he did tell me that he was my age initially, and then I found out later that he was 11 years older, and I also found out a lot of other things too, and that's what I mean in regards to like life experience, because with that age gap, there's another life that you lived before I was even born. You know what I mean? So I just feel like when you're dating someone with that much of an age gap, there's a lot of experiences that I just feel like I don't relate to because I haven't lived that yet, if that makes sense.
So I want to ask Terrell, because Terrell, when we talk about, you know, age, because now we're talking age preferences here, you know, do you feel like 33 years old, that is after this experience, is that now, do you feel like that's too young of a woman for you to date?
No, that's perfect for me. In fact, I know hundreds of couples at my church that date in that age or are married 10, 15 years older. That's normal. That's what I thought. I mean, because I see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's normal to me. That's why this is new for me. That's why I'm a little shocked about it. Like, wow. You know, because I mean, if you think about it, I was only 11 years old when you were born. I was still a kid. So what wasn't much like my experience.
Okay.
Kelly over there laughing too. Listen, guys, I'm going to close this poll. Do you think Terrell shared too much? It's really 50-50, but it's 100 votes on this thing. 53% of the lovers in the chat say no. And that's out of 100 votes. So it's really 50-50 split. And I'm going to drop another poll because I think this is very interesting as well.
What's that?
Is 10 years too much? Like, is 10 years age difference, 10 to 11 years age difference a little bit too much?
I feel like I already know what the people going to say.
What's that?
I don't think they're going to say it's too much at all. I think a lot of women actually came up and communicated that was, just fine. In fact, when I call a lot of the ladies on the phone and speak to them, they usually give me about 5 to 10 years up is where they like to go, or where at least where they're willing to go. When I'm asking the ladies, what's their age preference, so it's interesting. I don't know if you gave me that though, Kelly. So at this point now, would you prefer to just kind of stay under 40? Is that the ideal, age preference for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just from my own personal experience, like I said, my ex-boyfriend, it's just, I think I should stay below 40.
Now, the ex-boyfriend was very toxic. We definitely need to have him on the show to explain himself. The ex-boyfriend was really tripping. But listen to this, Kelly, because I think some of the lovers in the chat are feeling the same way. Shout out to Slave for Christ, who is officially the #1 lover and moderator in the chat. But they say, Kelly, tell the truth and shame the devil. Is it age? Is it kids? Or is it some other reason you are not interested? Kelly, I still feel like you're holding out on us. I feel like it's something else because I truly believe that if the right man was presented to you and he was 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, I absolutely believe that.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's some even 35-year-olds, 36-year-olds that got some testimonies, Kelly, that like they've lived some lives in just even 35, 30 years that is like out of this world insane. So I don't know if it was like the graphicness, if it was just too much. You don't want a man that has went through that level of trauma in the past that kind of threw you off.
Or what? I mean, was there some red, like Kelly?
Or did you not know that he was 44 when you matched with him?
Honestly, initially I got on late, but so I missed the whole introductory part and the age, so I didn't catch the age until the very end. But because he's a man of God, and I was really open to wanting to see like what his personality was like, I was still open to it. But I think just after the conversation and just like hearing everything, I think that like it was just a lot.
So you know what? I think that part was the most honesty we done got out of straightforward. Got out of Kelly. It was a lot. It was a lot. I think I understand. I think I kind of understand what that means.
And then she also gave us that if he didn't say all of that, it would have probably went to a second date.
It's possible. So
and here's the thing. I'm gonna be on Kelly's side here real quick, because there have been women that in that first date, they have trauma dumped, is what I call it, on me. All the things that they've been through, all the things that they going through,
which could be considered a testimony.
And in many ways, I got turned off a bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I got turned off a bit with hearing, all of these really harsh stories about your past on the first date. Now, I thought trauma, especially when I think of men, and this might be a double standard, because I think trauma as it relates to men, they pulling through some of these things. I think that's kind of like, you want to see a man who's very resilient, who's been through some things, who can go through some things to lead the family through some things.
Well, so you want to see the scar, but you don't want to hear the story.
Can I say this?
You're like, you got shot? Okay.
But that's just me preference. That's me personally. But go ahead, Terrell.
She asked me how I got into ministry. So for me, again, as a minister, my life is an open book. So my testimony is always being shared because it blesses people. That's the whole reason, because the reason why I share my testimony, because it puts Jesus on a pedestal. It shows the goodness of God. It shows his power, that he can take someone like me and put him on a platform and just make him into this king. You know what I'm saying? It's so much power in that. And that's why I share it. But I do believe sometimes people will see you for who you were and not for who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people can look at you and see I've had people had it. I tell people right now, I used to be a heroin addict. Yep. And then when people hear that, they'll down me like, oh, he used to be on heroin. Then they'll see me for that, but they can't see me for who I am now. I'm not saying Kelly did that, but I'm saying I've had that done before.
Oh, we ain't heard the testimony. See, we ain't heard the testimony. Because even I saw, listen, he said heroin addict. I saw Delano eyebrows go up over there like, oh, heroin.
Now,
Delano started judging in the back.
Yeah,
Delano started judging in the back. Delano popped his balloon in the back. So hold on. So Kelly was like, oh, heroin. Kelly was like, oh.
Okay, now I understand.
I'm gonna have to step back out of this one here. See, we didn't know the details of the testimony.
See, now you digging deep. Okay, cool. I understand.
So it's interesting. Ooh. So you know, here's the thing, because I'm gonna ask you this, Terrell, because I think I can imagine as a pastor, that's not like something. It's not like a sales job. Like you just clock in to being a salesperson and then you clock out and you Terrell now. You done with that sales. No, as a pastor, you always a pastor everywhere you go.
Facts.
But do you think that when courting and dating women, to some degree, that aspect is probably adversary to being able to connect and have chemistry with a woman? If you kind of go full pastoral, testimony, transformational on her in that conversation, do you think that that's adversarial, or do you think that the right woman is going to vibe with that?
The right woman is going to vibe with that again, because at some point, because let me tell you from experience, I've had times when I didn't share none of that and got later on down the line and shared it. And it was like, it changed instantly as soon as I shared it.
Hold on, wait.
Like
I'm sorry, Pastor Terrell. So you've had women also in the past respond in similar ways to your testimony.
Yes. Even later on down the line, if I waited to share it. So I've had both. So it's almost like lose-lose with the situation. It goes back to how a person sees you. Do you see me for that, or see me? And that's where it goes back to, do you really understand how Jesus's power transforms people? You know what I'm saying? I'm a totally transformed new person. That ain't even me no more. So that's why I'm very open with sharing that, because I know, just like Paul, he said, that wasn't me. That's not who I am. And that's how I see myself. That wasn't me, not who I am now. So I don't care sharing it, because you'll never see that again. You know what I'm saying? That's my past. And I'm not a proud person, but I'm grateful that God delivered me from that. So if that throws a person away from me, then they probably weren't the person for me, because in ministry, there's a ton of things that come at you that you got to have thick skin to go through. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I get it, man. I get it. So it's interesting. So this testimony here has been, something that has
polarizing.
Been polarizing.
And that's what happens when you get, especially when you don't really been through some stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to be forgiven. Everybody wants to be considered anew. But we all just have this, innate sense in this. When we hear something that is kind of out of our comfort zone, we cannot help but to make judgments.
We're going to get to the single shout out soon. So let's go ahead and put that in the chat real quick as well. We're going to drop the link so the singles can get backstage, because we starting off here for everybody just getting in here. We got Terrell in here with my sister Kellie, who matched on last Thursday's Hardly in Love episode 6 versus 1, where Pastor Terrell dated 6 young ladies and matched with Kellie, and we are getting a follow-up of what took place here today.
This is excellent, by the way, because we're getting some really good feedback, and I'm about to drop this in the chat now. And I also dropped another poll. We're keeping polls going all night, guys, and the phone lines are literally open all night for you to join us. I'm going to put it in the description, and also I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. But the poll, I'm going to stop it at 100. We already got 80 votes. Is Kellie keeping it 100? I got 2 options. Yes, she said what she said. And option 2 is no, give us more.
But hey, here's the good news for some of the ladies in the chat. My boy Terrell's single.
He is. He's on the market. He's on the market. And Kellie is also single.
Kellie's also single in the chat. But you know, when it comes to Pastor Terrell, I want to see this here because we didn't give the, you know, Kellie's been on here before for the brothers to shoot her shot, and that's what we do on the single shout out. So you can come up here, you can be, you know, bold if you want tonight. Fortune favors the bold, family. If any of the ladies are interested, drop a me in the chat. And even more than that, you can actually come backstage because it's just going to be that kind of show tonight. You got some time tonight, Terrell? You going to kick it with us tonight?
Hey, y'all got me all night. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to hang out with Kellie, too.
Your wife might be somewhere in the chat. We got 450 people right here in the chat tonight.
I think the third time is going to be the charm for Kellie. And,
yeah.
And the thing, Kellie, let me tell you, I rock with you because I like, you know, the ladies who are just chill. They zen,
reserved, respectful.
You know, this is gonna take a little bit to build up for you to kind of, you know, crack the head, get to know them a bit.
I'm not gonna give you all my information on the same day. You know, you're gonna have to crack the code a little bit.
Exactly, and there was one thing in particular, which I think the same thing that Terrell stated, which was that first episode. We had Slave for Christ. Shout out to Slave for Christ, one of the lovers in the chat. Drop a super chat, and the question was, would you dress, you know, would you change your style of dress to dress a little bit more appropriately? We also asked another young lady who was also in the chat pretty much virtually the same question. And the polarity between the two responses was vastly different. So the way Kellie responded, I think that's a type of woman that you want to, you know, investigate, you know, to learn a little bit more simply because she was just open to kind of what might work for the other person.
Nah, I get it. Yeah. I get it. And just so you know, for all my lovers that go backstage, make sure you turn your cameras on so we can be ready to bring you up. And if you're interested, by the way, in any one of the guests that we have on the show when you go backstage, just let us know in the chat. It's Zoom, by the way. It's a Zoom link. Y'all know how Zoom works. It's a Zoom chat. Let us know in the Zoom chat so we can be sure to go about bringing you up, you know, to shoot your shot and do what you do.
Yeah, we're gonna find somebody for both of them. It might not be tonight, but we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work hard at it.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work hard on it. So big shout. I want everybody to go ahead and drop a heart in the chat for Kellie and Terrell here tonight.
Remember, guys, phone lines are open real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and close out this poll. Then I want to get to, matter of fact, I'm gonna get to Slave for Christ first. He says, there is a woman who is for Terrell. Keep moving to find your wife. Kellie, hope you are able to identify your husband. I don't agree with everything Kevin Samuel said, but Kellie, how many kids would you like to have? Interesting. Kellie, how many kids you want?
What did Kevin Samuel have to do with that?
I'm not sure, but it's a dating show, so somebody gonna give a shout out to Kevin Samuel. Right. But Kellie, how many kids you want?
I would say 2.
Okay.
You want 2 kids?
Little standard combo pack.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
That's good.
Twin pack.
Little twin pack, exactly. and Terrell, let me ask you this, because I know you was popping off some conversation with Tyshawn. What are your general thoughts about the ladies and their standards in this dating market?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you because of my experiences. I believe, and this is based on experience, I don't say it's every woman. I don't justify and say every woman is like that. But nowadays, I think women's standards are a little too high. I believe that they're looking for perfection. And what I mean by that is, what I'm seeing in society is a lot of women have this list that they mark, that they want this in a man, this long list. You know what I'm saying? And the problem with that is, you're looking for all of these things on this list, but then if you ask them, you know, where's your other list? And you may say, what other list? Well, the list about you, what you bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, a lot of people in society forget that that's what relationships are about. It's not about what you want. It's about what you can give. You see what I'm saying? And I've dated so many women that have this long list. Like, here's an example. My last relationship, her number one thing on the list is she wanted a man of God. But she didn't even have a relationship with God. So how are you going to expect to want a man of God and you're not even a woman of God? You see what I'm saying? And that's some of the things that I'm noticing. They have this long list, and they forget to put a second list of the things that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah. He said, "I'm gonna keep it 100."
We had to hit. That's why I had to hit that you on him.
Right. I think the fellas in the chat might agree with that one. But we got more questions to ask. Let's bring somebody. Terrell, you gonna hang out in the back with us for a bit, right?
I'm cool. Let's go.
Because we gonna step. We gotta dig in more to that conversation. Kelly wants you to hang out in the back as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this poll. We're gonna leave Kelly alone. Is Kelly keeping it 100? Yes, she said what she said, or no, give us more. We had 120 votes. We got 500 people in the chat. 76% of the people says no, give us more. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. You know, Kelly says it take a little bit. So we'll give him another 15 minutes. She might come on here and go crazy. tell us what really happened.
Hey, that's what they saying. They saying, Kelly, listen. What the hell are you waiting for? What you waiting for? Tell us what it is. Hey, so look, we're going to go ahead. We got some singles piling up back here. We're going to go ahead and bring our singles up and have our singles get to our single shout out for tonight. Let's start off with my sister Terry here backstage, Lano. Go ahead and pull my sister Terry up. She already cheesing backstage. I said her name. She backs here cheesing. Make sure you off mute, Terry, so we can hear your voice. Terry, welcome to Hardly in Love. How you doing, sister?
Hey, y'all. I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
We're doing excellent, Terry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm glad to be here.
Listen, nothing
she kind of blurred that room. I think is the room dirty? Is dirty back there?
Oh no, this is my office, so it's nothing really back there. So
okay. She got an office.
She said office.
So she got a big house or office space. So that's good.
There you go. Can
we get a ching ching sound on this sound on this thing?
We got to get that ching ching sound. That's a great one. Yeah. That's a great one. Kelly, give us your name. Well, I got your name, your age, your location, and your relationship status.
So my name isn't Kelly, it's Terry.
Oh, Terry, I'm sorry.
Kelly had an impression.
Fine,
this is Terry right here.
Yeah, I got you, Terry.
Get the name up there too, so we can help us out.
Right, help us out. All right, go ahead.
So I am 32 years old. I live in Dallas, Texas. I am originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina. By day, I am a technical program manager, and by night, I am a coaching. I coach people to get into the tech industry as well as project management.
She's a coach.
Yeah, she's a hustler.
I get it.
Entrepreneur
for show.
Boss babe.
Well, you know what? Can we go ahead and get a love pitch from Terry real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. Lano, let's get 30 seconds on the clock. And Terry, if you can just tell us exactly what you're looking for in the man in this 30 seconds.
Brief and brilliant. And as soon as you start, we will. Lano, you ready to go? Hold on, wait. Give my man Lano some time so we could cook this clock up real quick. Okay, so when you start talking, the clock will start.
All right. So I am looking for, first of all, a man of God, someone who is submitted unto Christ, someone who is a visionary, somebody who is driven, someone who has community around them, whether that's his friends or his family, someone he pours into and pours out into, someone who is building a life that is for security and fulfilling, as well as someone who is compassionate and has a great sense of humor.
There you go.
That sounds good.
Brief and brilliant.
Yo, do we got any emojis in the chat? Because the emoji is just like, that's got to be the hottest top thing that the ladies are looking for.
Well, I don't know if we got one in the chat, but I got one backstage.
You do?
I got one back. What's your age preference? What's the age you like to date?
So my age preference is from 42, I would say down to 30.
42 down to 30?
And remind me how old you are again.
I'm 32.
Okay. So you went 10 up.
Mm-hmm.
10 up and a few down. That makes sense.
Okay. Interesting. So, have you been in here for the whole time hearing this conversation that we've been having since the top of the show?
I have. I've been here since the beginning.
What do you feel about what Kelly communicated about wanting a man? Well, I'm not even going to position. What do you feel about what she communicated overall? Do you think it was valid for her to, back out for the reasons she stated?
Yeah, I do think that it's valid. I've been in a position where I've dated someone who was 13 years older than me, and it was a lot, just the dynamic between the two of us. There was definitely a huge power dynamic. So I can understand where there are times when people are older than you that it just doesn't seem that you're on the same path of life. So I could understand that. And then as well as finding out someone has dealt with a drug addiction can be a lot. And so I don't know how I would have handle that news as well. So I could definitely relate to what Kellie was speaking.
Oh, so you judging, huh?
I mean, we all have our past, and it's great to see that Terrell is not where he came from. So, that's a beautiful thing. But that is a lot to take on when you're just getting to know someone. So I can imagine whether or not, and like Terrell said, the right woman will be willing to handle that testimony and be able to take that on. So, yeah, I just think they're just not aligned. So,
Let,
yeah, I agree to. Uh-huh.
let me ask you this, Terry. So something like that, like the drug addiction, and I've never experienced, somebody telling me that, so I can't imagine what thoughts would have went through my head. But would it be fair if a man decided not to share that part of his life at all?
I would think it would be fair in a sense that it's a very, very touchy and vulnerable subject. And I think with vulnerability, there is a level that you give and go. There's doors that people go through vulnerability, and you can't just jump out the window to be vulnerable with somebody. And so you start to open up each gate and seeing if somebody can handle that level of vulnerability. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing if someone withheld that information until a greater state. Now, we all on the reciprocating side of that, I have the right to not be okay with that and walk away. But I think to withhold that's also his right to do so as well.
There you go. First of all, Terry, you open or dating long distance?
I am. I live in Dallas, but I work remotely, and I'm a military brat, so I moved my entire life. And so whether I can, go and move, as long as that it's the goal of marriage and that's what I'm moving to, I'm fine with long distance dating.
So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this next time while I'm actually getting a dating profile, I want to look at your IGs while I'm actually looking at your dating profile.
Let's pull that up
so
right
we can
now.
move it along. So go ahead and give the world your IG real quick, just in case a brother ain't bold enough or present right now in the show to slide in the DMs. We got to give him opportunity. What's the IG?
So my IG is Terry Sherelle. So it's TerryCherelle_.
All right. Terry Sherelle, inspiring professional excellence. There you go.
Guys, we got 500 lovers in the chat, so this thing is growing every single episode. And okay, let's check this out.
Terry with the tats. I see you, Terry. So, Terry, when was the last relationship you was in, by the way?
My last relationship ended the beginning of 2023, so 2 years ago.
Okay, how long was it?
It was about 9 months.
Okay, and was that your longest relationship?
No, my longest relationship was 5 years. It was someone I dated as my high school sweetheart, as well as through college. So we broke up a year after I was in college.
And do you have children, Terry?
No kids and never been married.
Okay. And that last relationship, the one that was for 9 months, what exactly happened with that? Why did it end?
It ended due to infidelity. So
you cheated
on his part. No.
Why'd you do that, Terry? Why?
Why you do him like that, Terry?
No, definitely on his part, but I would say that was probably the biggest blessing that I received through that. That sounds crazy to say, but through that, I really took a step back, and I had to confront some issues that I had with God, and to really understand why I got into that relationship. I was really into that relationship out of, I would say, desperation. It was out of comfort and convenience is how I ended up in that relationship, and it was really the end of that relationship where I really had to accept why did I get here? Who was I dealing with? Because there were tons of red flags at the beginning of that relationship that I just did not take heed to. So it's been the blessing to come out of that relationship and to heal and to get a part of community. I rededicated my life to Christ after that, got involved with my church and through therapy. So a lot of things have happened and transpired because of the demise of that relationship. So I, thank him for that.
That's super dope. Looks like you had quite a bit of a fitness transformation as well.
Yeah, I did. So I've lost, actually that's only 30 pounds that I've lost, but just toning and strengthening is really the big thing that I've been focused on.
Let me tell you, that's
Incredible.
a hard thing to do, to
It
lose
is.
30 pounds. So big shout out to you, Terry. That means that shows some level of discipline.
And let me tell you, the fellas love the ladies that's in the gym.
I mean, that's just a very important part. And just like the ladies love the fellas that's in the gym.
Absolutely.
Everybody love when everybody in the gym.
I agree. Very, very important.
It's very
and then
important.
when you can work out together, that even take it up to the next level.
It does, man. It does. You got a dope IG. I feel like when I look at it, I see different aspects of you. It seems like, you out, you about. It has a level of class. I ain't gonna lie, you got them girls out on some of them things.
she like to keep the shoulder out too a little bit.
She like to keep, but I'm not gonna lie. I see you even have some hobbies here. I see you dance. Is that one of the things that you do outside of work consistently?
Yeah. So I consistently dance. I probably take about 1 or 2 dance classes a week. I've kind of slowed down a little bit just because I also do videography, and so I do that part-time for my church. So doing that, I haven't been able to dance as much as I want to, but yeah, dance is definitely my biggest hobby. I've joined and made a great community with the people here in Dallas. I have friends that dance professionally and are given great opportunities. So I love just, turning my brain off and just being free and just moving.
There you go.
Excellent. And real quick, shout out to Jay Barbosa. And Jay is actually one of our very first singles we ever featured on the platform.
Ever.
So hopefully we can bring him back soon, too, to get an update from him and how his first date went with Mia. But Jay says, is being turned down for being an addict equivalent to being turned down for formerly being involved in prostitution? Would you take her?
Oh, my God.
I'm going to just forward that question to Tyshawn. Because you remember, and guys, some people who watching the show may not have even heard of Hardly Initiated. We actually got our very first platform, Hardly Initiated, which we talk faith, relationship, politics, really everything in between. Woo. And we actually had Pastor Danny, who's a woman pastor. Former porn star, former prostitute, former escort, completely changed her life, got married sometime after she changed her life and found Christ. And her husband forgives her for everything, not even concerned to least.
Yeah.
And he accepted her. But Tyshawn, what are your thoughts on this? I think you was at
odds
about this.
let me take my jacket off now. When we talk about that. Because we kind of got into that conversation on the show. Pastor Danny, she's cool, man. I really love Pastor Danny.
She's dope.
She might have got just a tad bit offended when I gave my perspective, because you could have found Christ 3-4 times over, baby.
Saw him and everything.
But you was out there in them streets. Selling that cooch, I can't do it. I can't do it. Prostitution, that's absolutely no, and especially it went to the extremities of porn. With now we can search and find this online just casually.
But this is my thing.
So that ain't happening for me.
If
no bueno.
Kelly is saying this, Terry is saying this, now you saying this. If you can't, accept somebody for the things that they've been through, right, and them being vulnerable, then could that be a cause of this is why people don't share they wild things in their life or they past? Like, could that be a cause of why people keep so many secrets?
Yeah.
And why all of these people get in relationships with people they have no idea who it really is?
Yeah. Yeah.
So why punish the people who coming out and upfront about what they've been through, and it can actually prove, but through action, that they've actually changed? Why punish those people?
It's interesting because I think it's important that regardless of if somebody might view your standard that you set or your boundary that you set as punishment, you got to have them, because if you're a standardless dater, I think that's even more dangerous, because, somebody could have went through Christ that was a bona fide pedophile from 0 through 30 years old. Like multiple cases, and absolutely transformed. Because can we say that Christ can transform just about anybody? Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, if a woman says, I don't want to deal with this man because he's been dealing with children for the first 30 years of his life, I would understand that. And I'm not mad at that whatsoever. So for you to have a standard that you set for whatever that might be, that's 100% fine, and you can stand on that. I think the issue is when we start getting very superficial with these standards. We get very superficial with what we're looking for. And I think the standards right now that we have, that even Terrell, Pastor Terrell was talking about, he was talking about more of the superficial standards that many people are having in the dating marketplace. But I think that's reasonable, not wanting somebody that was in prostitution. That's relatively reasonable to have as a standard. But here's the thing, y'all. I'm all about, being able to tell your truth and be honest about where you were and where you've come, because that is going to help more people and be more beneficial in your life than a couple people that won't rock with you because of that. So stand on whatever you've been on, especially if you made it through. But yeah, Ty ain't rocking with it.
Okay, that's fair.
Ty ain't rocking with it.
I get it. Listen, no judgment on here.
Terry's still in here with us?
Yeah, Terry's in there.
Hey, first of all,
I like Terry. She's a sweetie.
Terry's a sweetheart. Hey, by the way, fellas, y'all know how we doing it all night. Terry gonna be backstage with us. Y'all want to go ahead and holler at Terry real quick. Y'all can go about doing so. We ain't gonna be here all night, so you better be bold. Terry, hang out backstage with us. So because we got a couple singles we need to get to.
Yeah, so Terry, we want you to hang out with us. We're going to try to get you connected. I mean, now you've seen who we had on here so far. I can already tell by her responses because she on the same side. She judging folks for the past too. So, Terry, we're going to find somebody with a clean record just for you. So go ahead and get in the back and hang out with us. And let's bring somebody else up real quick.
We're doing background checks for Terry.
Who we got? Who we got in the back? We got Ivonna.
Wait, Ivonna coming back? Ivonna coming back.
No, is that the same Ivonna?
That's the same Ivonna.
Man, bring her up here. We got to chat with her real quick.
Ivonna, what up with you?
Hey, guys.
What's up?
We matched you up last week. Why you up on here?
That's why I'm back. Y'all asked for an update, and I saw that you were on, and I was so committed after the gym that I came on fresh face out the shower to give y'all this update.
Hold on, wait.
Wow.
Where my brother? Can you text him and tell him to come on here too?
I can't because, I could, but he would probably be surprised to hear my text because we kind of,
What? Okay.
Let's hit. Well, first of all, I want you to text him.
You want me to text him though? Because I could text.
I want you to
text him.
Send him a text message and tell him come on here because there's two sides to every story. And not to say I don't trust you. You got to trust in face. You got to trust in face.
You don't.
But we trust, but we verify. Okay. And I want to bring my brother up because he was a smooth brother.
Yeah.
He was a smooth brother. Okay.
He was. Listen, guys, we didn't make this up. Can we get that sound too? You can't make this up. Like Ivonna called in her own fruition. Okay. We don't know what happened. And we getting ready to literally learn exactly what happened live.
And by the way, if you're familiar, if you was on the single shout out last Tuesday at the end of the show, a brother came on and shot his shot at my sister Ivonna.
And what was that gentleman's name, Ivonna? What was his name?
Mark.
My boy Mark came up and shot his shot. If you're familiar with that, drop a me in the chat if you saw that on last week's single shout out. Every Tuesday night, by the way, but again, we're going to stretch the single shout out. We're going to do this on Tuesday and Thursday this week. We activating the community all week long, baby. Man. So you sent them the text already?
I DM'd him, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Wait, do you have his phone number?
I don't, but that was by his choice.
Wait, okay. Let's start from the beginning here.
What happened after the show, Ivonna?
Okay. So after the show, he added me on Instagram and then he asked if he could call me through Instagram. He didn't ask for my number. So I said it was okay. He calls me. We have like a quick, normal, basic foundational conversation. And then he starts to share his boundaries. And he says, well, just so you know, like, I'm not going to be the type of guy who you're going to hear from every day because I know my attachment style. So you just don't expect to hear from me every day. And then before that, we made the plan to meet up on Thursday, a couple of days later. And he was like, I'll probably just message you like right before we go out on Thursday. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So Thursday comes, we meet like 4:00 in the afternoon. He was trying to meet earlier, but I couldn't because of work. And not that that was an issue, but just trying to tell y'all, like, he was serious about his boundaries. Homeboy wanted to meet in the daylight. And we met. at a diner, which is totally fine with me. And we sat, the conversation was fine. Just for the record, the height wasn't an issue when I met him, even though that was a concern.
He kept it real. That was his height. He kept it real.
He kept it real, y'all, because I was concerned. I talked to my mom about this. She watched the show. She was like,
Shout out to Mama Ivonna. Yeah.
There you go.
shout out to mom. And my mom likes you, Ryan. But anyway.
Listen.
Oh.
What's her age? How many
location?
How many other kids she got? Right.
Married. She's married, but she just likes you in general.
Okay, you better tell us to stop all that liking.
She in trouble.
Let me stop. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She said he's probably like 5'5" if he said he was 5'7". Like, men always lie about their height. That's what my mama said. So
True.
I was
Reasonable.
expecting shorter. But whatever, no, he was fine. He did have on Doc Martens, so he could have been giving himself more height. But whatever, it was fine. It wasn't.
She peeped the shoes to see if there was like a little. Women are surgical.
Yes,
they are surgical.
And the guys wear those. What do you call those little cushions?
The little lifts.
The little lifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
They rock the lifts.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the high top shoes too, because they can have a whole wedge inserted in those. It's games going on out here in these streets behind height. But
men wearing lifts is truly diabolical.
It is. It is.
Anyway, so we have a nice start of a conversation, and he starts hitting me with whammies. The first thing that he says is, well, I'm not really in the same place today that I was on Tuesday when I called in. Some things have happened between Tuesday and Thursday that I'm no longer in the place and in the mindset I was when I called in. He talked about going to a fellowship at church and that changing his mind about some things and potentially some family things. And he's not really he's not emotionally available to date, essentially. Then he also said that he went back and watched the show, and he's like, and I kind of noticed that I wasn't any of the things that you were looking for. So I thought that might be an issue. And he was like, truthfully, I was really hoping that another guy that was more qualified for you would call in before I did, because I thought that you were great. And I didn't understand why no one was calling. So I called. I don't want no stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So,
and just so y'all know, I'm getting all my details right. I was writing notes for y'all to make sure I have this in chronological order. This all really happened.
Ivana's thorough.
This is fascinating. I mean, we have to really break this from the top. So first off, let's give a shout out to Ivonna.
Big shout out.
But not only for taking notes and coming onto the platform and sharing, but for being so flexible. Because I could already imagine if a guy tells you to call him on Instagram versus outright asking for your number, that's already red flag.
Fat red flag.
Big red flags. And then to come out and start stating what the future relationship is going to look like, even though I don't even know you from a can of paint. You still went out on a date with him.
Yeah.
You can't get more flexible and understanding than that.
No. Like we can't call you superficial, Ivana, at all.
Right.
I think the way you seem very open to, men in different packages and even, men showing some bright red flags. But what do you think the concern was about sharing the number? What do you think that was about?
I don't know if he was trying not to seem like he was doing too much, but because that was kind of what he was hinting at. Like, oh, I won't be like blowing up your phone or anything crazy, so I'm just gonna like call you on Instagram. Like, I think that was his way of like trying not to do too much. But it just kind of came off as like not intentional, and then he ended up being super confused when we met in person. So
see, I think what I don't like that guys do, and guys, if you're listening, guys have a tendency sometimes to like have these belittling things that they do, like to belittle themselves.
What's it called? Deprecation? Is that the word for it? Okay, yeah.
Self-deprecation.
Self-deprecation. They have these tendencies to do these things. Like even, that's why I had to talk about it with my brother Eric. And about 2 episodes ago, I asked his height. He said, I'm only 5'7".
Right.
Like that's a lighter version of it.
Yeah.
But then, going off and saying things like, I hope you had a better, a guy who was more qualified come on earlier and these different things. That's just so excessive.
Completely disqualifying himself.
Disqualifying himself, and I'm really curious about, and that's why I want to talk to him, because I'm curious about what made him so bold to come up in front of hundreds of people, thousands even, that watched the show.
Oh yeah.
To shoot your shot and then to back out in that very strange way. And that's why dating's so damn hard, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Because
we have these consistencies or inconsistencies in character that people show, and you really gotta test the spirit. You gotta test it, because most of these folks, they gonna get exposed
over time,
and it don't even take a long time.
Yeah.
It don't take a long time. So this was one of the easier ones, I would say. But I don't want to go ahead and fully, innocent until proven guilty. I want my brother Mark here to come on and give his side of the story. Did he respond on DMs at least? Is he responding to you?
Nope.
Mark has to come. Wow. Okay, so first, real quick, shout out to all the super chatters. Shout out to the lovers in the chat. We got JB chiming in. She says, Mark sounds like the definition of self-sabotage. JB, I can absolutely agree with you. Mark, we got to hear your side of the story. This sounds really sketch. Ivana's
back single.
Yeah.
Well, she been single.
Ivana was always single.
No, you're right.
Ivana, I got to ask you, what do you think it was? Like, do you think, and, I'm not saying it was you, but could there have been something that he saw from you that maybe, I hate to say this, but intimidated him, or maybe just made him a bit apprehensive to now, from that initial confidence to now be like, hey, I wish it was somebody else that found you instead of me.
Yeah. I was afraid that you were going to use the word intimidated, because that's something that I feel that I've experienced in the past with dating. Not necessarily like that I feel that I position myself as like better than or holier than thou type person, but you kind of can't hide when you're living in your purpose and when you feel good about yourself and when you're happy. And I'm not saying that he doesn't feel any of those things about himself, but I have had people be intimidated by that. I don't know if that was a situation with him, because honestly, I didn't really talk that much about myself and my career and my plans and things like that. So I'm not sure if we had conversations that he could be intimidated by, but it's definitely something I've experienced in the past.
I could imagine it has to be something. I mean, a woman with definite plans, just the definite plans, a woman who shows up to the date looking good. For some men, that is too much.
It's crazy. that's you got to be low level if you think.
I'm telling you. I guarantee, because she got a nice apartment. Ivana, you tell me if this is true. Have you ever had a guy coming over to your apartment and the first thing they want to talk about is how nice your apartment is?
Well, not in my new life, in my new walk, where people are not coming into my apartment.
Okay, understood.
There you
understood.
go. I was about to get on. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good. Right,
that's a good one.
Trick question.
It was a setup.
Trick question. But you know what I mean. In the past, have men come over and they could not stop talking about how nice your apartment is to the point where they're disqualifying themselves?
Yes, I have had that happen. I've had someone get really, really excited about my snack cabinet. Yes, I've had that.
It's I'm telling you, I hear that from ladies all the time.
It's funny because, and guys don't even know that when they, do those things, that's another way in some ways to belittle themselves. I'm going to give you a funny story. The young lady I'm dating right now, I remember she told me, when I went to her apartment for the first time, I looked at her bookshelf, and I remember I started kind of joking on her about a bookshelf. I was like, oh, okay. Because she had a bunch of business books, nothing but business books. I was like, oh, okay, you ain't got no balance in your life. You one of them boss babes, ain't you? Right? So I started kind of laughing. And she knows that I'm an avid reader. And, I was just kind of talking about the different books and so on and so forth. And I remember months later down the line, she actually said, Ty, it's crazy because, most of the guys that ever saw my bookshelf, the first thing they would do is just be so complimentary that, I read, because that's just unusual, because, they don't read or might not be exposed to women that read. Whereas you just, that didn't even faze you. In fact, you started talking about how I'm not even reading all the right books. So it's interesting that, that does happen in many ways when guys, they just kind of show what they not used to in these different ways by being over complimentary these different ways, or, you know, just kind of, it's really weird activity, you know, that you just not even knowing that you having this impact or effect on women, because women are just so they're so detail oriented with how their mind works, so much more detail oriented than us as men. Y'all catch every detail of what we say, what we wear, our body language. It's just in y'all nature. Let me ask you this though. What's your age preference that you prefer to date?
30 to 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, I got like a 44-year-old brother backstage.
Backstage.
You know, he backstage chilling. You know,
I think we got a couple brothers backstage.
He chilling. You know, he chilling right now. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, what you think when you saw Pastor Terrell? What you thought when you saw him?
I think Pastor Terrell is very cool. I have to say, I did watch some of his dating shows. Very, very interesting. I will say though that my mom used to joke when I was younger that I'm not gonna be a first lady. I don't know why she said that. But
Okay.
I don't know if I'm pastor's wife type. But yeah.
Too much sinning going on over there?
No, she said she changed. She's a saint now.
Honestly, no, not at all. I actually am like very serious on my walk with God, and I'm like really into church and into ministry and all of that. I'm just telling y'all what my mama said.
Okay, hey, look, listen, no judgment. We listen, but we don't judge. Listen, you can go. Look, hold on and go backstage. We got some singles that we need to keep bringing up here. It's the single shout out tonight.
Yeah, stay
we
on
bringing
with us.
all my singles up here tonight
because we're gonna find Mark.
Backstage.
We're gonna find Mark where he at. But
Absolutely.
you know, I do like that the singles are actually taking the opportunity to mix and mingle after the show. So I think that's pretty dope.
I love that, man. I absolutely love that.
And I just dropped a poll, guys. We got 600 people, 600 lovers in the chat. I'm going to close this poll out at 100 votes. Why do you think Mark and Ivonna date didn't go well? I got a few options. 1, Mark was intimidated. 2, Mark wasn't attracted to Ivonna. 3, Mark was insecure, which is probably the same thing as 2. And 4, Ivonna is holding out on the truth. So we're going to see what you guys think about that. And already it's overwhelming votes. It's about to be 100 votes. Looks like Mark was insecure. I think that's Mark. You got to come defend yourself, because the lovers in the chat are saying you're insecure after you done stood on business, came up here, told Ivonna you were attracted to her and that you're interested in linking up with her. And now things changed all of a sudden.
He had the mouthpiece too, man. I was really rooting for the brother.
That life change between 2 days though is I mean, I got lots of questions. If there's something that happens between 2 days that completely changes your whole dating and relationship perspective, you was really not really ready.
He lived up to that middle finger post that we pulled up that time.
He truly
did. Listen, we got my sister well dressed backstage, man. I gotta bring this sister up. She ready for a date night right now. I think it's Miss Gay. I don't want to butcher her first name. Just bring Miss Gay up here so we can go ahead and have her join us here tonight. Make sure when you come up on stage here, make sure you take your chat
tonight. Make sure when you come up on stage here, make sure you take your chat tonight.
Oh man,
you
got to turn the show off in the back. I know you got the YouTube off. You got to turn the YouTube.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Now what's this young lady's name?
Now. Can you pronounce your first name?
Danella.
Danella came date
of all,
ready.
Danella,
Date night ready.
Why does it say Shaquanese or something like that?
That's my first name. Danella's my middle name.
Oh, okay, but I ain't want to butcher it.
Yeah, my first name is pronounced Shaquanasia.
Shaquanasia.
Danella, what's up with your sister? Welcome to Harley and Love.
What's up? Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh man, excited.
Danella, listen, you look beautiful. We happy you came prepped for the show. And excited to learn more.
She's setting the standard for the singles.
This is
you know
good.
what I'm saying? I like that.
We had a few people. We had the Licia. She turned up with the cat suit. Then we had Pastor Terrell come through with the 3-piece suit on. So you know, we stepping things up.
Y'all see if y'all pull up on here with these bonnets, that ain't the dress code, ladies. Okay, my girl Danella setting the standard here. Give me your age and your location.
I am located in a small town outside of Raleigh called Nightdale. And I'm 32 years old.
32 years old. What's your age preference on how you like to date?
I would say anywhere from 30 to 40, maybe 40 to 43. Depends on their style.
Okay, I got you. And when was your last relationship?
About 2 years ago.
Okay.
And what happened with that relationship?
Spiritual incompatibility. So I'm a Christian, and this person at the time he identified as being spiritual. And I didn't see that as a problem going into it because he told me he believed in God, he believed in Jesus. But I later found out that that was incompatible with my belief systems.
Interesting.
What was it exactly? Was he, not going to church? Was he not interested in reading scripture? Did he, kind of shun you when you would talk about Jesus and your faith? What kind of things were going on?
It was a little bit of a mixture of all of those things. But the main issue was I felt like I couldn't really be who I was spiritually around him. Like, we would pray together, but he wouldn't say like in Jesus' name at the end. Like he would make it a point not to put Jesus at the end. And then he really didn't want to go to church with me. I kind of had to force it. And like I listen to sermons all the time. Like I'll turn on Sarah Jakes in my house and just like let it play, and he would want me to turn it off. So kind of a mixture.
So you was a Christian and he was a demon.
Ryan go call that man a demon. I don't, because I've been there too. So I get how these brothers are in like different places of their faith. Where you can be a lot more spiritually mature, than these brothers. It seems like he just didn't have an openness. That's the thing. He just didn't really even have an openness to it. Because to say, I ain't gonna lie, to say turn off the Sarah Jakes. It's crazy. Like he didn't even like hearing. He didn't even like hearing anything around, sermons or preaching. He didn't like hearing it at all. Is what you're saying?
It wasn't that he didn't like hearing it at all. I don't think he liked it as much as I was entertaining it, which was a lot. Well, I won't actually. It wasn't a lot. It was just consistent.
Exactly.
And that was just not his practice. And so every time I would turn on something that was Christian, like I guess it reminded him that he really wasn't on that page. When we went into the relationship, he told me he wasn't offended by my faith because he had some belief in my faith. But I think maybe he was more offended than he let on, or more offended than he even believed he was at the time.
Now, during this time when you were dating this gentleman, were you new to faith, or were you just now kind of getting into things, or were you already very strong in your faith when you started dating him?
I was not new to faith, but I was new to, I like to say it like this, like I knew the Lord as my savior before him, and then I knew the Lord as my Lord after him. So at the time, I really didn't have a fear of God. I just like knew God was good, and I knew that this was the faith that I believed in. And so I think that was the problem, or that's what came up.
That makes sense.
We're going to pull up, and by the way, pull up the IG while we're talking to this young woman right now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it while we're having this conversation.
And I'm very curious, because when you are investing into your faith, especially as you getting things kicked off on a deeper level, you tend to improve in so many ways, like really all the ways in your life. So do you think that it was specifically the religion, or could it have possibly been the fact that you were just making, changes to your life for the positive in general?
I think it was so I think it was the spirituality.
Okay.
Mainly. This person was a person that appreciated ambition. So I don't think he cared about, or like had an opposition towards me doing greater things in my life. But there was also a controlling aspect to it as well. So he didn't mind me doing great things, but he wanted to be at the head of it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Was that Pastor James?
That was.
Wow. Wait. Where you located?
She reposted Pastor James. North Carolina.
Okay. I thought.
First of all, if we need to, that ching button need to be going crazy today. This lawyer babe we talking to right now.
Man,
what's up, lawyer babe? How you doing? Women got that money on here today. I ain't even mad at. Hey, fellas, y'all better get backstage.
Now, I see you got a baby as well. Is that just one? You just got the one son?
I just have one son, and he's 11 years old. That's actually a really old video.
Got it.
And what's been your experience dating as a single mother?
Well, to be honest, I don't feel like I have dated a ton because over the years I have been really focused on my career. So obviously, my son is 11. So I had him when I was 21 years old. And that was the same time that I graduated from undergrad. And I went straight into law school right after that. And he was just a baby. He was just 9 months when I went into law school. And so my main focus has really not been on dating as much. It's really been focused on building a good foundation as a mother and building my career. So I haven't had a whole lot of experience of serious dating. I've had some, I've dated a little bit here and there, but actually that last relationship, and then one more before that, you might call that serious, but I would say the last relationship I had was actually my first real attempt at truly dating with a purpose.
I'm gonna tell you,
I don't have that much experience.
So Danella, Jesus, Danella, listen, you're beautiful, but I must say, I have some straight stereotypes and internal beliefs when it comes to dating the attorneys, because you made a strong statement that you focus right now. Career was one of them, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I believe, because I know that space of, really moving and shaking to build, because you have your own practice too, don't you?
Yes.
So you building your own practice. You got attorneys under you in your practice, or you the only practicing attorney in your practice right now?
I'm the only one.
Okay. So you building this thing right now. And I know even as an entrepreneur, in build mode, in grind mode, you in mom mode at the same time, realistically, do you believe that you have space for a man in your life right now?
I do. And the reason that I believe that is because I have a child. I have always had, I've always prioritized a good work-life balance. And that has not changed just because I've become an entrepreneur. So when I say that, what I mean is I work from 9 to 5. And then after that, I'm at the house, or I'm at the gym, or I'm taking care of myself, or I'm spending time with my family and friends and doing the things that I would love. That's where my honey could come in. So I do believe I have time and I have space for that. When it comes to building my business, I wouldn't have done this without, I'm also a woman of God, right? So I wouldn't have done this without God's permission to do it. And I believe when God tells you to do something, he does provide you with provision that might be outside of, the culture standard of building, right? Like the culture standard of building is like grind, hustle, go hard, work too much, like do too much, work yourself to the bone. And that's not what God wants us to do. And this is what God gave me. So believe it or not, I work smart, but I don't really work that hard. What I do, I love doing it and I know how to do it well. So I'm not stressing myself out on a regular basis trying to build this business. And it's been blessed since I've started, which has only been about 6 months ago. But I've been
Congratulations.
blessed. Thank you. Thank you both. So yeah, I do feel like I have space in my life to date.
There you have it. Well, fellas, listen, y'all. Look, Lawyer Bay is here. Okay, I want some fellas to just come up here
on the IG too. That's good.
Yeah, she is low key on the IG.
That's
I like
good
that.
news.
In fact, I want, even if my brothers, just in general, even if y'all want to shoot y'all shot, just get backstage, fellas. All right, I want to represent the brothers. We got some real fly brothers that watch the show. I want y'all to come up here and come backstage. Let's have a good time. Let's showcase that we got some brothers out here for the ladies, because the ladies are showing up and showing out. Yeah. They're beautiful. They coming up here representing. They got their careers going. It's popping off.
Let me ask Danella real quick. Danella, how have you watched this episode, and have you watched a couple of our past episodes for this channel?
For this channel, I just watched a couple of episodes today, actually, for the first time.
Okay, good.
But I'm a huge fan of Hardly Initiated.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Let me ask you this, though. Any of the guys that you've seen on the episodes, did you have any interest or any of those guys potentially your type? And if not, why not?
Yeah, I haven't watched it enough to see. The only people that I've seen was, I think, Pastor Terrell and Benny. Those were the only two guys that I've seen so far. So
you could fix your face a little bit like that. Come on now, you like your face.
What? I didn't see it. I missed it.
Hey, look, I'm just saying. Why you make it? Okay, what's your thoughts on those brothers?
On Pastor Benny and on Pastor Terrell and Benny.
Yeah, both of the guys of those brothers. Seen,
your type? Any of that?
Not off initial contact. Benny, super admirable, as well as Terrell. His testimony seems amazing, and I do think that the right woman wouldn't be overwhelmed by his testimony, by the way. But no, I don't see, like, the physical attraction isn't there for me for either man, although I think both of them are good looking men.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's go idea. What's up?
Did we put her on a 30-second clock? But we didn't do that yet.
Let's do that. I mean, because she been way before past 30 seconds. That's
yeah, so it's okay. But we want you to give you 30 seconds to tell us what you're looking for your next partner.
And I want you to give me physical attraction. Okay, give me physical attraction here as well. Okay.
You want me to say what I like physically?
Yes. All right. Not just all the man of God. Like, we know you want a man of God. Give me some physical features here.
Okay. You ready?
We ready all the time.
Well, you know what? To be honest, y'all, I do not have a physical type. I just look for a man that I'm attracted to. I don't have like a height requirement. I'm only 5'3". I don't have a height requirement. Generally, I'm dating guys who are 6 feet above, but that's because they're coming for me. I don't mind talking to a guy who is shorter, but he has to have style. I'm big on style. So whomever it is, he has to have style. He has to know how to put himself together and have confidence.
Okay.
So wait. Okay. So you saying now? See, that just don't make sense to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna just be honest. Because now you're talking about they could be any height in the world.
How tall are you, by the way?
Well, okay, taller than me. I am 5'3".
Okay, that's easy.
Okay, so they just gotta be.
Okay, over my
5'3.5" and above. And they just gotta have some fashion, and you attracted to them.
Style, confidence, and I have to be attracted to, like, their face, their how they present themselves, all of that.
So they got to be fit. Their body needs to be fit. I seen you squeeze your shoulders a little bit.
Yeah, I prefer someone who is fit.
Let's get superficial, because the reality of it is I'm bringing brothers up that really meet those standards. But they're not qualifying because we don't really want to address. I think we're really ashamed of the superficial things we're attracted to. And we don't like saying, I want a dude with some muscles. I want a dude who don't have a pudge. I want a dude that don't have a double chin. Like, we're afraid to say these things. So we say he could be, any height in the world. Right. He just needs to know Jesus. I know a lot of brothers that know Jesus that y'all will not want.
Right.
Just period. Okay. So it ain't about knowing Jesus. All right. In fact, I know a lot of these ladies out here attracted a lot of men that don't know Jesus, but they got the muscles and the shoulders. All right. So, I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
Right.
All right. So, because think about it. Ladies, when y'all see a man.
Outside.
When y'all see a man.
Crazy.
Wait, who was backstage? Who was backstage talking? Oh, that's your son.
That's my son talking about the snow. Sorry.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. I thought that was somebody else backstage. You good? That's baby. That's baby in the back. But this the thing. When a lot of ladies, when y'all see men and y'all instantly get attracted. You know when you get attracted, them goosebumps happen. You double taking, that thing jump a little bit. When you attracted to the brother, you don't know nothing about his relationship with Jesus. It's just an initial attraction.
Right.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what is the initial attraction. And that's what we're going to talk about with these ladies tonight, because y'all are scared to just absolutely keep it real. It's I don't know. I think it's the Christian that is kind of against.
No, they're just nice women. They just want to be.
They want to be kind.
They want to be nice
and not be honest about what they're attracted to.
We need the truth, because the guys, they need feedback, and also the ladies need to be encouraged to tell the truth as well, because if the guy doesn't know, he's going to continue to defend the reason that you say it. So, for example, if you say, hey, it's because he's too old, and he's going to try to find all these reasons that he's not actually too old, and this is the men that you dated before, and this is why it's good to be older. So being specific, especially about the physical attraction, I think goes a long way. It's
just important. Yeah. And it just, when we specific, we would get to the core root of this thing in about 3 or 4 words, but instead we say 1,000 words. But really the truth
or
is.
just, he's not my type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the easiest scapegoat.
It's the easiest scapegoat, but we don't even say that. We scared to say that sometimes. But first of all, Danella, thank you so much for coming up on here, well dressed, doing your thing. Shout out! Listen, that business out there that you building will flourish.
Wait, hold tight. Okay? I did have a question, Danella. How much money does the man have to make?
Oh, that's a good question, Ryan. I can't think of a particular dollar. I know y'all gonna want me to be specific. Oh goodness. But this is what I will say though. He has to make enough money to pay the mortgage, to pay the major bills.
What's the mortgage? What's the mortgage?
It depends on where we reside together. So I'm marriage minded.
$800 mortgage? It's an $800 mortgage?
Well, interest rate's high. If it's a nice house, it's gonna be $3,000.
I'm just saying. I mean, let's get specific, okay?
Yeah.
Because I can get you a $600 mortgage on a $70,000 container house.
In
what you trying to live in right now?
Carrollton.
It depends on whatever we agree to. So the house is not already here. Whatever we agree to, wherever we move, however we decide to live, he has to be able to take care of those major bills.
All right. Can he make less money than you?
Better question.
Better question. That's what we just got to ask. We got to ask better questions on this show.
If he can take care of all the major bills with it.
Can he make less money than you, and you respect him?
Yeah, if he can take care of all the major bills with it.
Can he take care? You know how much money you make. Can he make less money than you and take care of all the major bills?
So the bills that I'm talking about are bills that we would have together.
Got you. So you want your man to pretty much finance all the major stuff, and then you come in. What's your money doing?
Lifestyle, vacation, just things that add to our lives, investments, building my business, being able to invest in my business. If he has a business, maybe being able to invest in his and do things that we enjoy together.
I'm not mad at that.
That sounds good.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Good,
I'm not mad at that at all. Okay, now we setting the standard here, y'all, because we got to create a culture of honesty on this show here, and not even honesty, because I don't think you're lying. I don't think you're lying, but I want to create a culture of just keeping it real on this show, and let's not dance around. Like, I want to be very raw. For those of you who know Harley Initiated, y'all know that's just kind of how we get down. That's just kind of how we talk. So that's what we gonna do here, and I gotta go ahead. And we just had a special guest pop up backstage, so we about to have some fun with this one. My sister Ivonna sent the text message, and my brother Mark actually just popped in backstage.
Wow!
So I'm gonna actually let you go backstage, Danella. I want to bring my brother Mark up here.
Okay,
y'all show some love to my brother Mark. We got to get the second half of the story here.
Mark, where's Mark at?
Pull Mark up here. Mark, what's up with you, brother?
Bring him out. Bring him out.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Listen, Mark. We elated actually because we're excited to speak to you, man.
First of all,
we listen. Yeah,
you got some splaining to do.
I'm telling you.
Right.
Now, to give you a heads up, Ivonna, she joined the show probably about 20-30 minutes ago. She walked us through exactly in her own perspective and her own words what transpired after the show, from the initial contact all the way to you guys meeting in person and what happened after that. So what we would like to do is get the second half of the story, okay? So are you ready to share with us tonight, Mark?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know what she said because like I literally just hopped on, but she's a very detailed person, so I'm pretty sure our stories are gonna line up.
Well, we're gonna see. And listen, get up on off of there. It's just us.
It's just the fellas right now. It's just the fellas. We chopping it up real quick.
So Mark, let's start from the beginning, okay?
Yeah.
What happened after the show?
So pretty much after the show, I reached out to her on Instagram, asked her to do a phone call. I didn't want to take up too much of her time because I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning and I go exercise with some guys. So I didn't want to stay up too late. So I just wanted to talk to her, see what her schedule was looking like so we can.
Hold on, wait. And that phone call was an IG phone call in particular?
Yeah, correct.
So you actually didn't want to go ahead and give her your number, and why go for the IG call instead of the phone call?
So previously when I was dating and on I guess dating apps or whatnot, I seen women were hesitant to give out their phone number. They rather get to know you on Instagram first. That way you can't like always text them or blow up their phone or these different things. So I usually don't go for the number until like we establish a good foundation.
So it sounds like
he was trying to avoid rejection a little bit.
Exactly. Based on past rejection, you took that same mindset and strategy into this new opportunity with the young lady, Ivonna.
I mean, you guys can say that, but I wouldn't say that. It's just like, for me, I just can't have multiple people numbers in my phone. I have to save the number. So my thing is like, let's establish a foundation first. And once that's established, then it's like, okay, communication for me is best on the phone because I don't have notifications on my Instagram or anything like that. So
let me ask you this, just a flat question. Would you prefer to speak to a woman using her number or using Instagram?
Her number.
So why not ask for a number?
So I'm somebody who actually walk up to women and would give their contact like that, right? And for me, it's like, it's easier when they see my Instagram and they get a profile of me first, and then they can decide if they actually would want to continue this conversation. Because sometimes the way I meet women, they're meeting multiple guys like the same night, same outing or whatever. So at least they have a face to whatever contact they got.
Okay, so let's keep hearing the story now. So you guys get on the phone call. Tell me how that goes.
So pretty much I just asked her what her schedule is going to be like for the upcoming week. She tells me she's pretty much free this week. I think she's supposed to start school today. And my day off was Thursday. So then I asked her if she's available for us to have lunch on Thursday. And she says, yeah. And then after, as we talked a little bit more, and the conversation was actually good. Like, I didn't want to get off the phone, but I just knew I needed to be disciplined about, getting enough sleep and everything like that. So as I'm about to end the conversation, I just let her know that I'm not somebody who texts you every day. I don't, when we're first meeting up, I'm not going to contact you every day just because I know how attachments work. And the more you communicate and, are involved with somebody, you can get attached to them. And when you get attached to them, it can stop you from seeing the red flags. So I just let her know that I usually contact somebody either when I'm off or when they're off. I try to make my schedule available to accumulate them. But yeah, and then that was pretty much it. And we plan to meet up on Thursday. Okay,
so you pretty much set the ground rules. Like, we ain't gonna be communicating all the time via text and so on and so forth. I'm gonna kind of be I don't want to say. I hate to. That's not the best word to use. Inconsistent, but we're gonna have some spaced out communication.
Yeah, pretty much. But at the same time, just for me at work, when I work, like, I'm really not on my phone. Like, if you call me and I look at the phone and I feel like it's somebody important, then I'll answer. But when I'm working, I don't, like, I'm not on my phone at all, not texting.
Likewise.
Yeah, so that was it. So, but if she did reach out to me, I would respond back. It's not that oh, if it's not my time, I'm not going to respond. But that's just what I like to let people know that, these are the days that I'm going to be more available.
Now, I'm curious, Mark, when you set out these foundational expectations with Ivonna, how did she respond to it?
She said she's like, that's the first. She's never heard that before. Nobody's ever told her that before. So but she was okay with it. She's like, okay.
So what? How did you take that when you heard that? What did you assume she felt by what you said?
I don't know. I didn't really assume anything.
Okay.
This is something I often put out there. So there's a response I usually get that, usually when a guy meets a girl and they start talking, it's usually like an everyday thing, but not with me. So it's different.
Now, this open line of communication that you have with, setting these boundaries up front, is that is that something that you learned through experience, or how did you come about communicating to the ladies in that way?
Yeah, it's through experience. I think I picked it up. Part of it, I picked it up from watching someone on the show, right? When they were talking about attachment styles and, these different things and how that works. I started doing more research into attachment styles, and I figured out how you can really get attached to somebody, and that's what really maybe put that in place.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay.
So now we go from that phone call to the first date, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that first date flow?
Well, before you get to the first date, did you ask her? I'm assuming you asked her on a date.
No, so I think my Wi-Fi is messing up. Yeah, I didn't. So I asked her if she's available on Thursday, and then I told her let's shoot for lunch time, and I told her when it gets closer to the date, I'll be able to let her know. Is my Wi-Fi messing up?
No, we hear you.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah, you're good.
We got you.
Okay, so you said, hey, you're free on Thursday, and once we get closer to Thursday, I'll let you know exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now you get to the date. What happens?
So we planned to meet up for, I believe, 3, but she had to get her nails done. So we pushed it back, which is fine. I was pretty much available the whole day. And then my brother told me that he had a basketball game that day, and I'm a big supporter of my brother. I used to play sports in high school, and my dad was never there for my games, so I like to show up for my brother's games. So that game wasn't until 5:30. I figured I can be there at 6 and still catch most of it. We met up at 4. We met at a diner. I've never been there, but it looked decent. And yeah, we pretty much just talked. The conversation was good. I got to know more about her. She's a very genuine person. Yeah, very kind. Everything that I've seen online was, I guess, just heightened in person. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you were extremely interested while on this date. Is that accurate?
So I want to say I was, but literally so I'm actually in the process of applying to go to school for mechanical engineering. I got accepted on, was it Tuesday?
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So when I got accepted, it's just a bunch of stuff was going through my mind. I'm just dealing with a lot with my family and just trying to make the right decisions and everything like that. And when I got accepted, the first thing that actually came to me was, here I am trying to make time for school, and it's like I really haven't been putting God first. And that's actually something that I said I needed to do before I actually start school, is make sure that I'm actually, putting God first in everything I'm doing, and then pursue school. So I ended up going to fellowship the next day. On Wednesday, I went to fellowship, and it had a really good message, but overall, I just got my answer where I'm trying to pursue these different careers to get to this end goal. And I realized that it doesn't matter which career I take, as long as I put God first, He's going to make the way for me. And if I started, pursuing relationships, that's going to get in the way of that. I realized that I have to put God first, and then relationships or career or anything else. So this was a revelation that came literally the day before we met up. I didn't want to cancel on her just because I didn't know she like moved things aside to make time for me. So I figured that it would be easier if I just told her in person.
Well, before we actually go ahead, the chat is hilarious, bro. You know we got women in the chat. They asking, did you pay for the date?
Oh man, yeah, I paid for the date.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was mandatory.
He's a classic, man.
He met up with her to break up with her, so you got to pay for the date.
So first of all, you already knew when you was walking into that date
it was a
wrap, pretty much.
A let go call.
So, because like even when I first called in, I told her that I was looking for friendship. I was looking to build a friendship, and if this friendship actually starts off good, then eventually it can lead into a relationship. So that's always my mindset. So I don't show up and bring flowers immediately or anything like that because I don't want somebody to like me for what I can offer. I want them to like me for myself. So my foundation was always friendship. So I just went into there letting her know like where my mind was at, and if she thinks that if we can start off as friends and then eventually lead to something. But right now I'm not looking to actually date, and I know that she was. So I was basically giving her the option, like, you know, I'm somebody you can consider, but if not, like, you're free to do whatever you want to do.
I've always been kind of confused about that.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, because
I think she probably was too.
What does friendship look like with a woman if you're not dating her? And I'm that's a genuine question. Like, what was your vision of that? Because when I'm looking at it in my mind with the women in my life, I don't really have very close women that are very close friends where I'm calling them.
I agree.
I'm staying up on the phone with them for hours, checking up on them. That to me sounds like dating.
Right.
Especially if you pulled up on her, you know, like you were attracted to her. You said, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you really think it's possible to curb that into all of a sudden this non-attracted friendship where we're just having these conversations and nothing is advancing?
Definitely. And the only reason I say that is because there are people who you're attracted to and you know you're not compatible with them. But just because you're not, you know, compatible with them doesn't mean that because you're attracted to them, you have to, you know, like maintain distance or anything like that. So I do have, you know, there's like for example, like going to church. There's a lot of beautiful women in church, but just because they're, you know, beautiful don't mean that you have to be with them. So as long as you have boundaries in place and there's no sexual desire, then you can have female friends.
Well, I'll tell you this, bro. As a young man, you know that you are, and like you growing in your career and these different things. First of all, just know I 100% support you focusing on God and building your career, getting yourself and you know. Let me tell you, I'm not against any of those things. Just to be clear, I'm probing just to really get a better idea of the reasoning behind the decisions that you are making around this time, you know. And at this point, because you said you recently had this revelation, literally the day before the date, are you pretty much completely not dating any women at this point in your life?
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much my plan initially, I didn't think I was going to get accepted because the semester starts in January and they weren't sending me any letters. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to apply again this year for next year. And so my thing was that this year I would date if I meet somebody before school starts, then, you know, we can, you know, hopefully build a relationship. If that relationship turns into something, then I can focus on a relationship and school because the foundation is already established. But after I got the letter, it hit me that, you know what, I really can't focus on all of these things at once. I really need to focus.
So here we go. Now we getting it. This is less to do with God and more to do with you not really about to balance a woman in school. That's really what this is about.
I mean, part of it, but
because for example, check me out. If you did not get accepted to school, if we can completely remove that, would you have continued to pursue this relationship?
Yeah, if we vibed, yeah.
But y'all did vibe,
right?
I don't know how to explain it. So like,
Mark, what's up right now, man?
Because the tricky thing with Mark, because I get what you're saying, because you want to focus on God, then you definitely want to focus on getting the bag, because that's going to help you, you know, with your maintenance and courting a young lady. But the issue, Mark, is what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
Mark,
okay.
Mark, listen, hold on. First of all, Mark, listen. If you're nervous, you can just relax and understand. It's like you talking. First of all, you're not. I'm a man just like you.
Right.
I've dated. Let me tell you, I've dated so many women in my life. I've dated women unintentionally. Matter of fact, I've dated more women unintentionally than I have dated intentionally. Okay, you cannot communicate to me and I judge you in any way. So just keep it 1,000 with your boy right now. Because right now, I feel like you're talking to me like I'm a damn police officer asking if you got weed in the car right now. Okay, and you got weed in the car.
Am I high right
now? So just relax and kick it to me absolutely straight right now. Like I feel like you're not giving it to me that. Give me that real, Mark. Can we do that, please?
Yeah, nah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Okay, I just wanted to establish that, but go ahead.
Mark, let me ask you this. I mean,
so
go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, so just following up on what he was saying, if school wasn't there, would I pursue this? Definitely, I would be more intentional, and the conversation that we had would not have had. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mark, I mean,
Mark said these women was the contingency plan.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Mark, did you think about that? Did you?
I was about to major in these women right now until I got that.
That's what it really sounds like. Because Mark, this is the thing. It sounds like the women was like, hey, this is just something I'll just do on the side until I get something else better to do. You know, so that's what comes with.
And I get that. No, and here's the thing. I get that. Yo, listen, I got some free time. I'm going to date a little bit. I want some women in my life. I want to have some fun. I want to flirt. I don't know what you want. Maybe some sex. I've been there. I just want to have women around me while I have this time. And once my business and these things get popping, I'm going to transition and move.
But the thing is, that's not what
happens.
It does. But that's not what you communicated when you came on to the show. And that's also not what Ivonna communicated she was looking for. But you came onto the show and expressed strong interest. So why would you, my question is, why would you go about making that decision to tell a young lady that, hey, you was interested, you want to potentially spend some time getting to know her, knowing that you could potentially be from one life change away or one decision or one acceptance letters away from completely changing your mind and your strategy for how you're going about pursuing your next relationship?
So because I didn't know that, like I didn't know when I got that acceptance letter that my mind, all these things would go through my mind. I didn't know I would go to fellowship and have this revelation. And like I said, right now I'm like seeking God. I'm constantly praying, asking God for answers. And it was like something that happened. I guess it was the Holy Spirit, a conviction of the Holy Spirit saying that instead of focusing on all these things, you need to focus on me first. But at the same time, when I came on the show, it was definitely intentional. And it's not like, oh, I want to start dating now. And once I'm accepted into school, then I'm going to stop. No, it's that if I had started dating now and I'm dating somebody who I feel like we're compatible with, then once I'm in school, I'm going to learn how to balance all of that, a relationship and school and God.
Well, check it out, Mark. Listen, again, I am never against a young man focusing on God and his paper. Okay, so actually, I think that's where your time is spent best. So I think you're making the right decision. I just got to dig into it.
Well, and because the thing is, I understand, because I understand what you're saying, but a lot of ladies have an issue with this. I hear from a lot of women, they talk about men strongly pursuing them initially, and then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? I got so much going on in my life. You know what? I'm not really ready to get into this. So I understand what you're saying, Mark, but it's two sides to the story, and you got to consider the other person you're dealing with got feelings too, right? So let's bring up Ivonna and get her perspective on this. And go ahead. While we bring up Ivonna, go ahead and share your thoughts on that, Mark.
Yeah, and I also want to say that I understand that, when we met up and everything like that, I guess the message wasn't initially what she expected to hear. But at the end of the day, I left it open and I told her that we can continue to be friends. It's not like I just wanted to meet up with her and then go and do my separate thing. But she's the one who ended the friendship. It wasn't me. It was,
Every woman got that damn Stanley Cup. I promise. Every woman got that Stanley Cup. Let me ask you there, Ivonna. when you heard the proposal of, let's be friends, was that attractive to you? What did you think? What was going through your mind at that time when you heard that?
Totally cool with the friends part, but I don't know about y'all. I'm a clarity person. I don't know if y'all mind if I get a little clarity real quick before we deep dive.
Absolutely.
Please get some clarity.
So, what day did you mention that you got the acceptance for school?
I got it on. It was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday evening.
Okay. And Ryan and Todd.
Or maybe Wednesday.
It was
Wednesday. Yeah.
The show is at 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right. So according to that timeline, it sounds like you got the notice before you called into the show.
So it was.
My issue with that is.
It was Wednesday.
Now it's Wednesday.
I can send you the email, but yeah.
But yeah. So if you felt like you had that big of a life change coming up, my challenge is like, I don't understand why call in and then essentially like remove my opportunity from matching with anyone else. Because we're in a point where you really weren't on stable ground to start having a conversation. You said that you were waiting to hear back within January. The chances for you to meet somebody January, whatever 10th it was, and get in a relationship by the time you got into school was unrealistic. So like, why call in and also impact my chances of matching with someone else?
Yeah, so let me just apologize if you felt like my call-in impacted your chances to match with somebody else.
It did.
So I apologize for that. And like I said before, I wasn't planning on going to school this year. Like I didn't think I was going to get an acceptance letter. The fact that I got an acceptance letter is what led me to all this mindset, because I got the acceptance letter and I realized that I could not actually attend school because I wasn't ready for it. And I needed to be in a space where I'm ready to attend school, just like that.
So are you going to school or aren't you?
I'm not.
All right. Well, I don't want to get too distracted from the points. I just wanted to highlight that the Tuesday timeline didn't align. And then also, I just wanted to touch on why the friendship wasn't possible. So after he told me that he had this life change over the last couple of days, we left the dinner cool, completely fine. Then I get a message from him the next day asking, can he bother me for a minute? And he calls me again on Instagram and he asks me if we can work out together, which I consider to be another date. So that would kind of go against this whole not having time thing. But that's also something very intimate that I'm just like not doing with people in general. So I found that to be interesting. And it wasn't even that was the final straw.
Wait, hold tight. Wait, don't hit the final straw yet, because we didn't get that the second straw. It's
hella straws.
Right.
It's hella straws right now.
Hold on. So Mark says, let's be friends. And
yeah.
Does Mark, do you have Ivana's number, physical phone number at that time?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
So I just want to confirm, y'all went on an entire date and no phone numbers was exchanged.
What the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah, no.
No.
Now,
He
Mark.
hit me up the next day again in Instagram DM.
Mark, explain that to me. What's going on?
I wasn't focused on getting her number. Literally, like, the reason we ended the date was because I was trying to get to my brother's basketball game. Otherwise, we'd have probably been there talking some more. But that was why I ended. So the number would have probably happened eventually, but it wasn't like a big focus of mine.
Okay. And you say, let's be friends. Then the next day, what was your intent behind the workout? Was that, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. What was your intent behind the workout?
Yeah, no, because when we left the date, it was, can this be a friendship that basically, see where it goes. So with the working out, it was just, okay, that's something that she does. That's something that I do. Why can't we work out together?
Okay. So is that any different? Because in my mind, this is what I want to ask you, just to get clarity here. Is that any different from dating? If you go on
a workout,
what will be the difference? What will be the difference? I'm just curious.
Just for me, it's like I wasn't pursuing her in a romantic sense. It was more so, let me see if I'm compatible with this person as a person, not romantically. So yeah.
Okay. Well, check it out.
Where does that come from, though, Mark? Where does this, like, where did you get this from? That's not romantic. Like, how do you if you come on and you say public, Mark, this was thousands of people have seen it at this point. You literally said, hey, I'm interested in you. I'm attracted to you. You're blushing on live television. You go out on a date with her. How do you remove the romanticism out of asking a follow-up date at the gym? You're going to see her. You're going to see her figure.
By the way, that's a great date.
It's a great date.
A gym date is a great date.
It's going to be intimate. It's going to be encouraging. It's going to be, you know.
Probably leading the workout. So you showcasing leadership. I know you're in the military, so you probably,
But having
you're going to show out in there.
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
Like, that's a very attractive
your tank top on there. You know, like, so what's going on? Like who are you trying to fool? Is it yourself? Like, is it your lust? Is it us? Mark, tell us what's going on.
Me, y'all, he's trying to fool me, and this is what we go through. And I'm not pressing this because I actually care. I think it's important that y'all get the real life play out of the nonsense that we go through out in these day and streets.
Wait. Give me the last straw before we go ahead and close out. There's no answer for that. Just give me the last straw.
I'm gonna keep the last straw cute because they're eating me up in the comments, but. After he asked to go on the workout, we had a conversation where he had the opportunity to express some views of his, which aren't, some of them not fact-based and not aligned with my beliefs. So that was just at a point that we really wouldn't even be able to have a friendship because I wouldn't want to be having those types of combative conversations.
No. Don't hit me with that vagueness. Don't do that. You don't do that, Ivana.
Y'all want me to tell you him what
tell me what the situation was, or don't tell me at all.
So the first point that he chose to bring up is he asked me about my view on politics, and I asked, well, that's a very vague question. Can you ask me? Like more specific, are you asking me who I voted for, what party I usually vote with? And he's like, well, who do you usually vote with? And I said, well, I tend to vote Democrat. And he said, let me take a swig. He said, my issue with the Democrats is that they enable Black people through government assistance like welfare, and don't put in ramifications that make it uncomfortable for them to be on welfare, so that they just continue to be on welfare and they don't do better for themselves. And I think most of us know that the majority of recipients of welfare and the government assistance in the states are white people, and it's in line with the population. So it's just simply not true. So that was one. Would you like me to share another one?
Okay, so pretty much this was all a political debate. A political debate pretty much broke out in the middle of the date.
No, this wasn't the date. This was the follow-up call about the workout.
Got it.
So was it all politically inclined after this, or all the points you're about to give me after this politically inclined?
Or give us some of the topics. Give us some of the hot topics.
Yeah, just give us some topics so we can breeze through it.
I'm like afraid to share the last one because I don't want people to attack you in the comments.
What was the last one?
You can share that. So I'm going to say it, right? Basically, what I was trying to tell her was that how I don't really, I guess, agree with how the Democrats were supporting the LGBT. I'm going to butcher the name, but the
LGBTQ community.
Yeah, and just because of how there's pedophiles hiding among these people, but she wasn't the way I said it. It wasn't like it was coming off of that. I guess she was taking it as if I'm saying like the LGBTQ community are like pedophiles, but I was trying to say that pedophiles are able to hide in this community because of the different things that are allowed. But I wasn't able to make myself clear at the time, and she wasn't getting that, and it just became a big thing.
So first of all, this part is really tricky right here.
And who knows what the chat think? Because the chat be concerned. The chat might be celebrating that. The
I know,
chat
right?
Is
he might have won the chat over now.
Right.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, Trump. Now here's the thing. I'm not mad at no brother. Honestly, nobody for their political views. I'm a little different. I'm not the kind. Y'all be breaking up with y'all best friends and mamas over politics. I'm not the kind of type. I'm not the type to do that. What I will say is that's a strange way to build rapport and to start, when you're trying to build the relationship.
Mark went
to start the political debate with your lady
random.
early on.
It just came up randomly. It wasn't even like something that I wanted to talk about. I don't know. It just came up. It came up because we were talking about kids. We were talking about kids, and I was telling her why I was hesitant about having kids because of the whole situation with the bathroom and how men were able to go into the girls' bathroom and stuff like that. So that's how that all came up. But,
and Mark, remind us, how old are you?
I'm 28.
28.
Got it. Ivana, you as well?
I'm 31.
31.
So, interestingly enough,
I get it.
That part of the conversation, that actually was not as shocking as some of the other stuff, believe it or not. I think, I personally would not have popped off a political debate, with a young lady early on in the convo. And just personally, but I'm not judging Mark for his political views whatsoever. I do think though, as a young man, again, I am on point with you, focusing on God and paper, but what you just got to do is just be consistent, in how you show up.
Yeah.
Because you really sending mixed signals.
Because you're going to see those women, every now and then, the ones that you want to jump on camera for. But if what you're doing is focusing on God and your work, then that's what you need to do. Because what happens is you go half-stepping out there, and now you're putting your risk at your reputation at risk, right? And you're wasting other people's time. So you just have to be very considerate of that. And trust me, I'm sure Tyshawn as well, have had our fair share of doing that. But think about it, you don't have to step on all these necks, hurting all these feelings on the way for you to get.
And by the way,
together.
I've done it, Mark. I've done what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I've done what you're doing intentionally, because honestly, what you're doing is really just player vibes. Like you get a woman kind of, under your aura of being attracted to you. You tell them that you really don't want them serious because you focus on your bag right now, but you still continue to pursue them.
Right.
But you tell them it's friendly, which really friendly just means casual. So whatever we do, if we have sex, we have.
Let me just say this, because you did mention how like maybe I'm looking for sex or something like that. I've been abstinent for 2 years. I was married before. Now I'm divorced. I want to make sure that the next person I meet, is going to be the person that leads me, that's going to be with me forever. So that's why I started as a friendship first. So I'm not looking for no sex or anything like that. I asked her, to come to her church, so I can visit her church.
See, Mark, it doesn't have to be sex. It could be attention. It could be time spent. It could be emotional support. It could be you just bored.
Yeah, I just wanted sex. That was me. That was my testimony.
It could be a lot of things. But when you talk about establishing a friendship, it's not.
Yeah, it was companionship. I was looking for companionship, right? But I didn't want to waste her time. So that's why I told her about everything that transpired in my mind. And if she wanted to continue with this, the option's her. But I wasn't playing her. Like I didn't have to say everything. I could have just continued with this and kept everything in my mind. But I wanted to put it out here to let her know that this is where my mind is at. And if you're not on the same page, then maybe this is not going to work.
But see, Mark, this is what Tyshawn's trying to get you to understand. The closeness that you are pursuing is what brings in the romanticism. You could be friends from afar. You don't got to be doing one-on-one workouts with the girl. If the girl goes to the run club, you go to the run club. There's 20 people there. You talk to her every now and then at the run club. That's about as close as you can get. Once you start doing things one-on-one, you expressing your interest, you talking about how good she looks, those types of things completely send mixed signals. It doesn't matter what you're logically thinking. You have to consider what the woman is considering. So all those things that you was doing, this is telling her, you telling her, verbalizing her one thing, but you're showing her something completely different.
Andre made a good point. He said, women don't friend zone men every day. Honestly, I agree they do, and I think that's lame too. Right. I think it's lame.
Both ways.
I don't agree with any of that. But listen, we could drag.
At the end of the day, Mark is a handsome brother.
Yeah.
He communicates well. He's on his grind. He's got things going. He's putting Jesus first. And the crazy thing about it, you're probably going to do this a few more times before you finally learn that you're not supposed to get down like this.
Because you're going to want the companionship of a woman, bro. Bro, that's not going to go away. Trust me. You're going to constantly want, we were designed to want the companionship of a woman, especially on your grind, bro. The companionship of a woman does something different. It just re-energizes you, re-motivates you. It does all these different things. But that's at the risk of the woman.
You can't, collect without giving something up. That's the thing about it. So the ladies, they're going to want you to be like, what's your intention? That's what they want. They want some level of commitment and vision and very clear, definitively what we're doing. So that's what they're asking you for. You're asking for this companionship. They're asking for some direction and understanding from you. So that's just kind of what comes with it.
Nah, but look, again, much love to you, Mark. Again, we kind of grilled you a little bit, but keep in mind, me and Ryan, we've been around, we've been around young men like our entire lives. Right. Like in our last business, all we hired was young men. We had these conversations over and over. We do a once a month Bible study with men here in Atlanta. And we have these conversations all the time, mainly because I've done everything I'm telling you way worse than you. You literally just had a one date with this woman. I'm talking about his brothers, like literally stringing women along for 2-3 years. Right. Like just, hey, we just friends doing this. So, I mean, trust me, very light misdemeanor on this, but just something to look out for, as it happens. Because the ladies actually have, frequently talk about this experience.
I know how that is, though. Because, in your mind, you're like, listen, I'm going to tell her what's good. But then you hang out with her. Then you tossing and turning in your bed, how much fun you had, how cool she was. You're like, well, we could just work out. We could just work out. So I totally understand what you're going through.
Yeah. Hey, look. Hey, Mark, listen, you always got access to us, though, bro. Info at heart. Matter of fact, just for you, Mark, call us on IG. hey, but much love to you, brother.
I rock with Mark. Ivonna, listen, you was about to get in your soapbox for a minute, so let's pull up the one with Ivonna real quick. So Ivonna, give us your final thoughts on this, because it seemed like you had not necessarily things to say to Mark, but just about these types of situations in general. So what's your message for the ladies and the fellas about these types of situations?
I would just say that I got the gist that you feel, or the perception might be that I feel a way about it, and I really don't feel a way. I don't feel led on. I don't feel hurt. Like, he called the show expressing interest to me, and I said I was open to go to meet him, and I did just that. I think from my perspective, what I would like to share is just be really intentional about when you approach people. Make sure you're in the right space for it, because you don't know if somebody has a lot of time or doesn't have a lot of time, or if someone else would have said something on the show if you didn't say something on the show. So just be intentional when you go after people and be considerate of their time.
Excellent.
I got it.
Man, this was a really fun show tonight, man. Hey, let me tell you.
Man. We got some people in the back. I want to keep going. We need to chill.
I mean, I want to make it digestible for the family.
Yeah.
We've been going for 218, really.
Well, can we just meet a couple of the singles that we might bring on in the future? Can we just meet a couple of the singles in the back real quick? Just real quick, give them a 30 seconds, tell us what they're looking for. Get a chance to meet them.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's close out. We're gonna bring up, it's final call. We're going to go ahead and bring up the singles backstage. So y'all can go ahead.
Bring our real quick. And Ivonna, shout out. Listen, tell Ms. Young I appreciate her. Tell Mama Young I appreciate her.
Absolutely. We only got 2 singles we haven't spoke to backstage. We got Awa and we got Tori here. That's backstage.
Tori looking good back there. We got to bring Tori up real quick.
Absolutely. So we're gonna have a pretty much a little speed round right here. And Awa, what's up with you, sister?
Hi. How are you guys doing?
We doing
I'm
good.
Blessed.
You remember Awa? Remember she came on the show?
Hardly initiated.
Yeah.
I remember that.
She was working. You still working at that spot?
Yeah, like I was. No, I'm having a job, so I'm
okay.
working. And yeah.
What's your age and location?
31-year-old, and I'm in the DMV area.
In the DMV area.
Yeah.
Okay, well look, we're gonna put 30 seconds on the clock for you.
And I would like the brothers. I think I remember that. Is that true? You like the brothers?
Oh, she said she like them chocolate brothers, huh?
Yes.
Is it a certain type of chocolate? Like, is it the milk chocolate, the caramel, or you like that dark Hershey chocolate?
The brown one, and like depends on I'm attracted to. So
Okay. There you go. Well, check it out. We're going to give you 30 seconds on the clock. I want you to describe the man that you're interested in. Okay, I want internal and external, okay? So go ahead. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock. When you start talking, the time starts.
I like someone who is godly, who loves the Lord, who is at church, who is serving the Lord, and who really like is confident, who appreciate, who is goofy, who is like very ambitious, who's caring, who's generous, and likes to love and likes to do anything, being adventurous and doing like conversation wise and being good communicator. And I would, yeah.
Okay, that's your 30. I would listen. I think that was pretty straightforward. Let me ask you this, because we got to, we're just on a short timeline, so you got to keep in mind we're doing this again Thursday, so you can join us again Thursday so we can find out a little bit more. But really quickly, have you been keeping up with the past shows that we've been doing?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, from the bachelors that you've seen that we've featured on the show, is it anybody that you saw and you're like, hey, you know what, that person might be my type?
Not. I would say not sure about it.
Okay, man, we need to flood this thing with bachelors. We need to do a straight bachelor night.
Straight bachelor night, absolutely straight bachelor night. So I will stay patient with us. We're gonna have some fun on Thursday night. So we're doing another single shout out activation. Okay, we are doing a all new Room Raiders edition. So bachelors, bachelorettes, when y'all come up here, not only are we gonna showcase you, it's not gonna be IGs on this one.
Check out your house.
We're gonna be you're gonna give us a tour of your spot so we can see if you really ready, right? We're gonna see if there's some compatibility there for anybody in the chat if they want to come up and speak to you. But we're gonna be taking tours of the houses of Room Raiders edition. We're gonna have so much fun with this concept. We're bringing it to you guys this Thursday, first time ever. You guys can come backstage. That's how we doing it.
And real quick, make sure you join us on Thursday. Let's go ahead and go to tour real quick, and then we'll close out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
700 people in the chat, by the way. We got a bunch of keep goings in the chat. We got to do a marathon on one of these.
What up with you, Tori? How you living?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How are y'all?
We doing good. Listen, happy to have you back.
Tori got that glow. If y'all don't know, Tori was on the very first ever episode of Harley in Love. And it was a great show.
Long time initiate. She's she's been on both shows.
Initiate, now lover.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We love you, Tori. Thank you
for the people that don't know you, Tori, give me your age and location.
All right, so I'm 39. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
There you go, 39. ATL. We're going to put 30 on the
And
clock.
Tori, I know you got hit with some DMs. I mean, you've been on the show a few times. I know each time you got hit with some DMs. Any of those DMs come through where it was provided you a little opportunity? Any conversations get started from those?
Yeah, so what's crazy is when I did Harley Initiate it, which I just came on there and asked a question, I think I got like 20 DMs. Nothing came of those, unfortunately. But the dating show, I only got like 2. I think I told you that, Ryan.
Wow. 2. And 2 and a couple of emails. A couple of guys asked about you.
I think, Tori, that show that you were on with Harley Initiate, I think it got like over 100,000 views, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. We growing this one. This one's
gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time to get it popping. But y'all already see Tori's saying she want her DMs flooded, y'all. Okay, so we gotta flood them DMs, fellas.
Yeah, and Tori,
no.
Go ahead.
They need to, first of all, be saved, come correct, be serious. But no, and I do want to give a shout out to Ivana and Mark, because I felt like they both have really good character and their stories matched.
Yes.
So I feel like when your stories match, you got good character. So shout out to both y'all.
Actually, I'm glad you stated that. We should have did that as well. Again, I'm gonna double up on that. Shout out to Ivana and Mark, simply because the amount of text that I got about them specifically is incredible because of that particular situation.
Yeah.
So the people that were texting me was like, "Yo, thank goodness y'all actually talked about that. Thank goodness he stayed on and told his side and she told her side." So they did a really good job tonight.
They did a great job.
But Tori, what's up with you? I know you keep up with the show. Have you seen any of the bachelors that you might be interested in so far, or we need to bring some more talent up for you?
I mean, y'all had some good guys on here. Y'all do. The only other guy that I saw that I was like, oh, okay, I think he was in Atlanta. Wasn't it like Gauntlet or somebody? who matched with somebody.
Yeah,
because he was the most in shape brother that we had on here.
Yeah, buddy got 6-pack and everything, 6 foot.
Right, but I mean, there's not someone that I'm just like, oh, you know, that person. I think it's just, I think Tyshawn, you said it earlier. I think just keeping it 100. I think like a lot of times when we have these conversations, it's because I think the men are so busy trying to be nice. And I think you can be honest and be respectful, right? So like be honest but be respectful. But it's okay to say, I talked to this person or I met this person, I'm no longer interested, or you're not looking for something serious, or you chose her because she was most attractive, whatever it is. I think that the confusion comes in, we're just not 100 and we don't figure out a way to just say that respectfully.
No, I mean, 100%. And then just to be clear, my main point was that the ladies are not coming up on here and being honest about what they want from an attraction level, because ladies, they tend to give all the internal things they want from a man. They tend to give all the spiritual things they want from a man. And if I put that in front of them and I have those internal things, they'll say, nah, I ain't my type. So let's also talk about, let's not be afraid to talk about some of them physical traits that we want. Like in you in particular, what are you physically attracted to in a man?
The lover's saying she need to be with Terry. That's what they saying. That's what they see.
Terry?
Terry? I don't even know who that is.
Oh, Pastor Terrell?
Oh yeah. That's what they. Okay.
Terrell.
That's what they. Well, no, they say Terry, but
they call him Terry now.
Yes,
he got a new nickname. He got a new nickname in there. Terry, where you at?
Right.
Hey, but here, give me the thing. What are you physically attracted to in a man?
So I mean, as far as looks go, I will say, do I like a handsome man? You know, like Tyshawn and Ryan. Like I think y'all are both attractive. So it varies.
You better slow your roll, girl. You better slow your roll, girl. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And as far as height goes, I prefer him taller than me, but I don't have like a specific height. Just tall. I'm 5'5". So if you're taller than me, then that's fine. Large skin, dark skin, don't matter. If you in shape, physically fit, look good. I think you have to value your health and your physical fitness, because I do like that in a man. And I like a masculine man, of course. So that's the physical attributes.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm going to have to be very hard on making sure we ask that question, because
okay.
I think women naturally have a proclivity to talk about all those other things. I really want to, we're going to have to get a little superficial on here, because I'm seeing that's just a natural part about this process. So thank you on here for giving us some of those things. Because that is, we see, even when look, Gauntlet was probably one of the most biggest in shape dudes we brought up on here.
Right.
And all the ladies was just naturally choosing on this brother. They don't know nothing about his story.
They don't know nothing. Ain't heard him speak.
Nothing to speak. Oh, muscles, I like him. That's the one right there.
But one thing I will say about women is like, we do, like, if you have values, especially like Christian values, once we hear those values, if they don't align with us, we will like exit you. So I don't think that we're just going to go for looks only. So for me, like the values are important. Like we definitely have to have like the same faith values, family values and things like that. So that's definitely, you can be as good as you want to look, but if those values don't align, then I'm not with it.
Y'all give them, you listen, y'all get him brother some grace though. All right. He's six pack, 6 feet, got the check. Well, okay. I get you spiritual, but let's just ride it. Let's see how this works out though. Right. Let's see how it works out.
No.
Let's see.
It ain't gonna work.
Listen, now I've seen different. I've seen differently, but I think we got some super chats in here. Do we have any super chats? The last few that we want to go ahead and address?
Yeah. Shout out to a practitioner. She just joined us last night. Man, we doing so many darn shows. She just joined us last night with
Dr. James
Tour. His tactics were way. Hold on.
We don't got the reading rainbow button on this one, right? We got
Shout out to practitioner. I'm a little rusty. Shout out to practitioner. His tactics were a way for him to try and slow the pace. He was probably genuinely interested, but fearful of things progressing too quickly. He simply lacks the ability to set boundaries. Okay. So she was pretty forgiving and understanding of Mark in that situation. So very interesting. Shout out to Slave of Christ again. So Mark was initially interested, received news about a career school goal that took precedence over a relationship with her, met her in person, and he definitely wasn't interested. Okay, that's good perspective. Again, Practitioner Her says he needs a woman that's not going to trigger his fight or flight. He enjoys and values his alone time and really just needed companionship. Practitioner Her, it sounds like you want to get over here with
read this
Mark.
last one. Read this last one. Slave for Christ just put it.
Slave for Christ says, unfortunately, many Christian women get deceived by men speaking that Christianese. That's a fact. And shout out to Slave for Christ.
Oh my goodness.
So first off, Danella, that's the young lady's name, right?
Yeah, Danella.
Danella, she's getting respect, right? Because Slave for Christ says, Mrs. Gay. Mrs. Gay, Mrs. Gay, now you know not to entertain a guy who says he's spiritual. Many Christian women love a project man. I don't know how to. I guess it's the way she dressed. She get that Mrs. Gay. So shout out to Miss Gay for stepping it up tonight. And Slave for Christ again. Was Ivonna the one who said she would choose her dog over her husband? Is given the ultimatum. Yes, that was Ivonna.
Oh my
She
God.
did low key say that.
We got to
Low-key.
read these chats when these people on here. I like seeing their face when that happens.
Listen, guys, we're going to get a lot better at that. So be patient with us as we get these things tightened up. But we definitely want to make sure we highlight those super chats. So just be patient.
And let us know what y'all think about the single shout out, because we're gonna bring you guys dating shows. We're gonna bring you guys the single shout out. These are different shows, but this channel will be all things dating, y'all. So we're gonna do some very fun things. Like I said, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we doing a Room Raiders edition of the single shout out. So we're gonna be bringing y'all up, showcasing your dating profile, and you're gonna give us a tour of that spot. Okay, so y'all ain't gotta overly clean it up. I want to see how you live, how you really live. You feel me? So it's gonna be a very fun show on Thursday night, so make sure you tune in.
And guys, everybody who joined us tonight, if you could just send us an email at info@hardlyinitiated.com or put your Instagrams in that Zoom chat so Delano can take those, because we want to feature those at the bottom of the description on the video. And also, we want to have your Instagram so we can reach out if we do come across a match for you in the future. We can just hit you up on IG, have you come up and join the single shout out so we can get you matched up.
And for those of you who want to continue to support the platform, here's how you do so. This is the Cash App and the PayPal. Cash App, simple, Hardly Initiated. PayPal, Hardly Initiated Podcast. And I tell you guys, the Hardly in Love cards is here for you. This is a must-have. Such a great gift. Valentine's Day is coming up. Make sure you go ahead and cop these real quick. You can get more than one. This is an incredible gift. Every time I gift one of these to somebody, they are extremely appreciative and always got some incredible reviews. But the simplest way that you can give to us, guys, is by just hitting that subscribe button. The next goal for the platform is to get 10,000 subscribers. We want to hit the 5 figures for this channel, because that, again, will help us do some very creative things, spread the message across YouTube, and also attract some really great talent for the vision and the mission that we have for the platform. But if y'all loving the new concepts that we bringing you here on Hardly in Love, drop a heart in the chat. I want a red and black heart if you're loving what we bringing y'all in the chat today. I think that's all we got for you guys.
Yeah,
I just want y'all to remember, for all of my initiates too that loves Hardly in Love, we are doing a debate tomorrow. It's going to be a little relationship friendly too, because we talking polygamy. We got some Christian polygamists coming on tomorrow debating some monogamous, and we're going to talk about whether or not polygamy is biblical. That's on the Hardly Initiated Podcast, 8 p.m. Everything's at 8 p.m., guys.
That's going to be a huge show.
8 p.m. It's going to be a big show. I want you there live in the chat, because it is going to be a treat.
But Thursday, man, we got to go crazy Thursday, bro. I really want to make sure we bring almost exclusively bachelors. Because we got to make some matches.
We got to do something special, man. Ryan wilding out, y'all. He been waiting to use that sound. So hard. But listen, y'all go ahead and have a good night. I appreciate everybody that tunes in to Hardly in Love. And listen, y'all already know how we do it. Hardly in Love. We are out.